Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
All right, welcome back from lunch. It's good to be back. I will tell you, for my lunch, I was asking Mrs. R.A., who has been super busy. She's been doing a lot of cleaning stuff. I said, hey, what's for lunch type thing? And she said, well, I made this, and the kids are having that, sort of like a fend for yourself type one of those days. And the only thing that came to my mind was this right here.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
So I made myself a dang quesadilla. I made a couple of them, just the small ones, and it didn't quite fill me up. And so then I rummaged around the cupboard and I found we had these beautiful cocoa dusted truffles. And nothing goes with a quesadilla like cocoa dusted truffles. So I had a couple of those. So now I'm back. Lunch was great. Hopefully yours was good as well. No pickles today. It's shopping day, so we need to get pickles. But let's see. We have somebody here in chat. T-Rox specifically, who said, "See y'all soon." Yeah, T-Rox, we will see you working your tail end off because you have won the internet today. You're now the proud owner of the afternoon internet, which is similar to the morning internet. It's just a later version. But you're responsible for everything internet related worldwide. So if you can hurry and just chop, get on that would be great. Good luck. As let's see, who has said that? I think Weather Watch said. No, that was something else. It should be fun, right? CG said it should be fun. With periods. I'm not sure if fun means fun or not. But T-Rox, you're in charge. Congratulations. Thanks for being first in chat and for stepping up and being willing to do this small task for everyone around the world as we try to keep communications in the digital age up and running. So thank you for being here, T-Rox, and congratulations. Christy P's catching up with the Jensen trial during a lunch break. I'm not sure if I'd mix those two, the Jensen trial and lunch, but Fractured's here as well. Weather Watch says, man is quick to update his thumbnail. I grabbed that the picture of the defendant, of Alexander, and threw that in the thumbnail real quick. I didn't spend a lot of time on it, as you can see, but I just wanted to put him up there just for some comparison, so you can see sort of side by side what the jail menu has done for his figure. Which, he brag, even if you got it, flaunt it, right? Tony Fortune is proudly here and accounted for. Thank you. Good to have you here. I want to make sure I'm on the air. It looks like I am. That's always good. May the odds be ever in your favor, says Katrina. Max here, back for more as the blood drips. Mac, I was wondering if we should start counting the blood drops. I'm guessing he's about a pint and a half, maybe. Is that about right? You figure if it was gushing blood when he shot it, the stains on the floor, the bleeding on the hospital bed, and then on the pad. I'm thinking about a pint and a half sounds about right. How much do you have to lose before it starts affecting decision making, things like that? That's a good question to have. Tony was watching the Koberger update until RA comes back. Let us know if there's anything cool that drops there. I know they're talking about some of the stuff that's happened here in the last couple days. Let's see, I know there's some news out of the Lori Vallow situations there. They wanted to meet up together in the jury room without anyone else, just them and their lawyers. They're like, we'll even let a police officer sit outside the front door and to make sure no one interrupts or anything. But I'm not sure if the judge went for it. You'll have to let me know. Christy's good at listening to two trials at the same time. So, it's a skill to be able to do that. Sort of tune one ear to one trial and one ear to the other. Let's see. Max here, Tony Fortune, Weather Watch got you there. You're not even up to 60 in North Texas. I tell you, I'm sitting at 73 degrees today, right now. The kids are out on the trampoline having their little lunch break. They wanted to have a picnic. It's beautiful outside, other than the fact the grass is dead. Let's see. Max here, Dilly Pickles, good to have you here. CG, Denise, back from break when I cleaned my kitchen after making my lunch, and now we'll eat my chicken Caesar salad. Welcome back. I'm glad you got something constructive done during the break. Weather Watch, 6-volt bus, retracted his message, we'll never know. Or her message. 6-volt, I don't know if you're male or female. I don't think you've ever told me. But you have retracted your message. And now we're just dying to know what it was. Little Bits here, Golden Moms, DMB. Hopefully they finished through the video today. Hopefully. Please, can we watch this on a higher speed? This is like flashbacks to the Juan David Ortiz trial, the Border Patrol trial, for those that aren't familiar with that one, where he was interrogated and it was filmed in painstaking detail, second by second, on a 12-disc box set. And we watched like all of them during the trial, and several of them had nothing happen. He was just sitting there waiting for the investigators to come back in. It was the worst interrogation video I've ever seen as far as that goes. And they didn't fast forward. They didn't skip. We want to see it in its entirety, because it might be important to note that guard XYZ, whoever it was, walked by twice in the next hour without saying anything. So some of these, the video that we've been seeing today reminds me of that. If I've brought back some painful memories to some of you, I apologize. But yeah, this isn't quite so bad. T-Rock says, it's my pleasure, y'all. So patient with me, hopping in and out so often. Well, thanks for taking over on the internet as well. Thanks, T-Rocks. Matthew Harris, why does YouTube take so long to process 4K videos? I don't know, but I think it's like, I think they take like 4 to 5 times as long as the video is long to process it. That's my calculation. It may be more than that if you have a longer video. But if I upload like a 20-minute video, metal detecting video in 4K, it takes an hour to an hour and a half or so to process. The lower resolution, though, will be available sooner, usually. Tater Tot Casserole was on the menu for Tony Fortune. Sounds delicious. Was it Tag's recipe? That's what I want to know. Good afternoon, Golden Grill and kids. Uploaded this Thursday video, and YouTube's taking forever to render in 4K. Sunshine and Sunflowers made some work calls. I'll be taking my real lunch break for pulled pork French fries soon. Sounds good. I just had quesadilla.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
Yep, that's all I got. Little bit. Let's see. Who did I miss? MM Jones is here. Good to have you back. Roxanne Moser took time to cook and listen again. You guys are all getting so much stuff done in the break, and all I did was make a thumbnail and make a tortilla with some cheese on it. Yeah, I don't feel very productive in the break. Cheryl Meyer says, here and ready for part 2, with or without modesty graphic in place. I will have to move me to be there, but at the same time, I don't want to be there. This is the rock and a hard spot I'm stuck between. How do I reconcile these two concerns? A lot of people just jumped in chat. Go fast here, faster. I'm way far behind, and the judge is going to be back in about 7 minutes. T-Rocks, Weather Watch, Lindsay Hendricks just finished watching Annie's 10 to Life, latest video about Idaho, and I highly recommend. Search warrant and draws connections between digital evidence, which I have yet to see done yet. Nancy said, I hope everybody had a great lunch. I sure did. Katrina, I ate lunch. Now I need a nap. Nap time is always allowed. Lady Mystery is here. The giant rat that makes all the rules is here and present. Seated, I might add, in the front of the courthouse. Sharon McDonald, Canned Laughter, North American Girl. Nancy is here as well. Had a wonderful lunch there. Good reports from all of you about lunch, whether it was productive or whether it was just good. That's fantastic. Katrina's here. Yes, it was a Napoleon Dynamite sound clip that I was playing.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
That's his aunt when Napoleon's complaining about, what's for lunch? There's nothing to eat. Gosh, dang it, Napoleon, make yourself a dang quesadilla. I was going to get the Tina, come get your food part. That's funny as well. Mary Kay, Kathy, Linda Hill, Casey Jones is present. Sorry, I haven't been clicking on everybody. I apologize. Jim Bob, Laura, Heidi, Olivia Rose, Kevin, all here. Well, Mama, Tony Fortune. We got you, Tony, already, I think. Got a couple times. Liz Larson. Hi, y'all from Texas. Good to have you here, Liz. We have several from Texas, like CG, right after you, who's in the house as well. Our resident lawyer is also from Texas. Michelle Johnson is here. Jonathan Davenport. Good to see you again, man. Sup, it's M. I haven't seen you in chat before. Is this a new name, or is this the first time you've been here? Either way, maybe you've been a lurker for a long time. Either way, welcome. Good to see you in chat. Carly196, Casey Jones. My phone is going nuts for some reason. Apparently, the Kathy Resson from Law and Crime is long-form tweeting every update on all the trials that Law and Crime is following. He's a court low, just like my car. Yeah, he's missing a little bit of blood. Alexander's been bleeding out here for a while. The doctors have not done anything to stop the flow of blood, although to his credit, he put his Boy Scout skills to work immediately with the tourniquet and the belt and everything. Did happen to break the buckle. The belt probably wasn't built for the leg it was wrapped around. But he did use a tourniquet and at least slowed the bleeding. He has done some direct pressure as well while he was on the 911 call. And the bleeding seems to be slowed down to the point where he probably won't die from it. That's my guess, assuming he doesn't start walking around and bleeding out more. But if he does make a run for it, tracking him will be pretty easy still, because it is still open wound. My reserve number is 12,035. Thank you. If you lose enough blood, the decision-making stops completely. Yes. That will put an end to it. And maybe that will save him. Maybe if he just passes out from loss of blood, he, get the same effect as if he had asked for a lawyer. I'm from Rome, just north of Fort Worth. Awesome, Liz. Good to have you from there. Is it pronounced Rome? I'm guessing it's Rome, the silent H. Let's see. Shells, Monica Soflo. 84 degrees in Florida. Hey, not everywhere in Florida is enjoying the great weather. I think in the next 3 days, a couple places are going to be below freezing in the morning. Not good iguana weather. Rachel K. is in California. Nancy says that's what you called multitasking. Casey Jones, Liz Larson, Weather Watch is there. I got you again. Tabitha, new to this channel. Have enjoyed watching yesterday and today. Oh, Tabitha, it gets so much better than yesterday and today. This has been a rough trial. And this whole week, oh my goodness, the Jensen trial and how slow it was watching, I guess that was middle of last week is when we picked it up. Just watching taped video from 10 years ago that took forever to watch, and the content was not, shall we say, gripping, and it was just awful. Anyway, so it gets better. We have better court cases. Unfortunately, we get to watch what's available, so we have to wait for new trials to happen. When Sarah Boone starts, Tabitha, you're going to want to be here for sure. Unfortunately, that's going to be pushed all the way out to, I guess the pre-trial is in the end of March, but the early part of April, and that's going to be a case to watch for sure. Let's see who else has. Carly's UK, 4 degrees. 4 degrees in the UK. That's nice and chilly.
Test.
Test. This is Maggie Carr comes in with the super chat. The message didn't come through, and I'm sure you didn't type test. I think my system, if you don't put a message with a super chat, it says test instead, because it normally does read off whatever message you have. But Maggie, if you have a question or comment or a shout out to someone you'd like me to give, please let me know. Thank you very much for your support of the channel. Appreciate the super chat. And the test is working. Tish, hey. Good to have you here, Tish. I'd rather be day working, 32 degrees, 20 mile an hour winds, and 6 inches of fresh powder. Wyoming is not the place you want to live. Apparently, I'm not alone in this thought, because it's freezing cold. We got that report from Bob as well. He said it was 5 degrees this morning in Evanston. And yeah, Wyoming has lots of open space, and I love visiting there. I mean, they have Yellowstone. If you want raw beauty, Yellowstone is incredible. You're not going to have anything like that anywhere else in the United States. They have incredible mountains. The Wind River Range is unbelievable. I love the summers I've been up there, whether it's at Star Valley, on the ranch, whether it's up in Fremont Reservoir. I have many great memories of Wyoming, but at the same time, there are many parts of Wyoming where just driving through, I've been there for too long. Okay, so cold and windy is Wyoming during the wintertime. Color Me says, I'm from, and then he says this, if I say it right, I give you my reserve seat. Ephrata? Is that Ephrata? That's my guess. I'm going with Ephrata. We're just going to peek in on the court case just because it's time. It's time to go back to court, but I don't think we're beginning yet, and we're not. So no rush. We'll keep an eye on it there anyway. Audio. Yep, nothing's there. And I'll have to tweak the audio again because I play my intro video off the same channel, and so I had to change the audio.
All right,
Wait.
On the record, outside the presence of the jury, we have counsel and Mr. Jackson present. Mr. Johnson, my understanding is you just informed me that you wanted to make a record on something, so go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor asked me at the end of the last break if I had anything more I wanted to say, and I said not at this time, but we have had a chance to look over some things, and the only, I believe that the only edit we requested to be made was a space of time between 10:13:55 and 10:16. If I made two, I'm not sure that we did. But when Mr. Scheer reported that he found another one, we had assumed that all of the stuff had been taken out. And I missed this. I'm prepared to admit that I missed the 10:58 thing, but I was under the hope, I guess, that the state had gone through and taken out all of the references for the reason that had been taken out of 10:13. In other words, I mean, if it applied to that one, it should apply to everything in the interview. And my basic objection again is to allowing the interview to be played at all. It's an extremely lengthy interview, and I'm not going to.
Can I join in this
I'm going to blame
objection?
myself that we missed this, but we do think that the state was under some duty to make sure that references such as this were not in this video. And for that reason, Your Honor, we would ask for a mistrial at this time.
Boom. Ask for the mistrial.
Mr. Scheer?
Your Honor, for what's already been previously stated, we'd resist this motion for a mistrial and continue to go forward.
All right. Again, the specific objection made by the defendant is encapsulated in my ruling on the motions in limine. I received those by email. It does not cover the point we're talking about here. So again, I mean, the state was not ordered to redact the video to exclude that portion. So I'm not going to declare a mistrial based on a violation of a order when there was no order prohibiting the state from playing that portion of the video. Further, I would note that, I mean, as far as prejudice goes, I mean, if I'm recalling this by memory, as we all are at this point, but my recollection was Investigator Lucina said something about the heart rate being elevated, and the defendant responded, "I'm mad," which, you know, would be a perfectly reasonable explanation for an elevated heart rate in any event. So regardless, like I said, one, the state hasn't done anything wrong because they weren't ordered. They haven't violated any order. And two, regardless, I don't see any prejudice in the statement as is. So for those reasons, the motion for mistrial is denied, and we will proceed at this point. Are you folks ready to proceed, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Scheer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Terry, do we have everybody? All right, let's bring in the jury.
Let's bring in the jury. All right. Yeah, this is good fun. I'm going to hurry. I think we're going to have to cut the roll call short. Arkansas Magnafisher says he had lasagna for lunch, and it was delicious, apparently. Charlie Peterson is here. Good to have you back, Charlie. I wouldn't use words like gripping. I didn't know what to go with. Anything I thought of was not a good fit for that word for that trial. Fireworks. Oh wait, they do have fireworks in Wyoming. It's known for the wind and the fireworks. Yes, Evanston has great fireworks stores open year round. And the Utah cops like to sit in the Evanston parking lot and pull people over as soon as they leave the fireworks store and head back towards Utah with those illegal fireworks that are perfectly safe in Idaho, but deadly if fired in Utah. Weird laws. States are different. Maggie Carr is here. Norma, good to have you here. Well, Mama, scorching 27 degrees, better than Wyoming. It's a heat wave, Well, Mama. Hope you can stay cool. Casey Jones says you can add me all to the Texas list. We have quite a few from Texas. Wyoming's my very favorite state as well. I love it. I just can't. The plains of Wyoming in winter is not a fun place to be. This man bun is brought to you by Suave hair products for men. This is our defendant. This is Alexander. We're getting the back shot, a close-up of the man bun in great focus. You see the nice soft focus where the judge is blurred out in the background. Oh, it looks like everyone gets to come up and talk to the judge really quickly. Get an actual sidebar because the jury's present. 5 hours driving across Ohio is the longest 12 hours of your life. There are a couple places where driving across them is not fun. Texas is one of those. Texas is just big. It's just big. You can drive forever and still be in Texas. Matthew Harris is in the house. Good to have you, Matthew. Hopefully that 4K upload renders quickly, and we all get to benefit from your upload. Lisa Bees from Alabama. Thank you for being here, Lisa. Maggie Carr. Where's the join button? Maggie, you're probably on an iOS device. iOS has a thing against YouTube. Apple basically sues everybody for money, and Apple wants a piece. They want 30% of any transaction that happens across their devices. So any app, if you're using the YouTube app on an iOS device, it's not going to have a join button. You'll have to go to Safari and probably or either on a computer and pull up YouTube on the website version, and the join button appears that way. Or you can just turn on gifts and get lucky if someone gifts a membership. Okay. That's all we're going to have to cover. I apologize. I know I missed some of you in the roll call, and I missed quite a few comments.
It looked like it was raining out there, was it? All right.
Lady Writer's here.
All
She's
right.
present.
Well, hopefully you all stayed dry and were able to find some food. Welcome back.
Make yourself a dang
I'm
quesadilla.
sure you all recall we were in the midst of a video. I think we
Yes,
still
we
have
recall.
some more video to go. So Officer Denlinger's still at the stand. We have
Golden Mom, this is correct.
all our jurors here, counsel Mr. Jackson, and I believe, Mr. Scheer, we're going to resume with the video?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Can we watch it faster?
You may go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna make some changes to the audio here really quickly as soon as they start. So that sound.
Right. You're pleasantly surprised that did not hurt as bad as you had made it up in your head.
It wasn't pain. I was like,
And
all over my mouth.
you were surprised, right? You were like, wow, I just shot myself in the foot and that didn't hurt.
Alex, have you searched out anything for mental health or depression or addiction or anything of that nature on your phone at all? Not really. Not really? Tell me about what the... Nothing I remember. Okay. Is it a yes or no question? No, you've never searched for any of those.
He's just fishing here.
Like searching and applying depression or something? Yeah, have you ever taken a quiz? No.
Sorry, MD.
Sure, but have you ever searched to find out if you're depressed or if you have no?
Do you search the web to find out if you're depressed?
Have you ever searched?
Somebody asked.
Anything about different medications related to mental health issues? How about beyond depression? Let's just call it mental health in general.
Okay, I don't want to be the star of the show here, but I'm just going to wander around just so I can hear the conversation a little better. I'll just be right here. So he's talking to me. Now I can hear him much better. Is that any better for you guys?
I'm talking about mental health stuff, so I'm not worried about how
The foot's really close to me.
plantar fasciitis affects your foot. You know what? Never mind.
I can cover up the foot.
Before?
Well, no. Let's just.
Okay, that's fine.
Look at that. Now I'm the person being interviewed.
Have you done any research
How's that?
about shooting people or killing people?
This just seems like fishing. He's just like, well, what about, have you searched for weapons of mass destruction?
How about shooting yourself? How about suicide? Have you ever searched that?
Not for me.
Not for, who was it for?
Well, just worried about suicide.
Okay. Anything in the last
So basically, no.
No, so nothing in the last couple months on that?
Jim Bob, no. This is not going to happen. I tell you, ask and you shall receive. I try to make things better for you guys.
Sure, well, if it's on, but, yeah. We got a forensic guy that goes through that.
I will move just a little bit. I think his left foot is a good indicator. It's a tell. I think it does move when he lies.
Some of the communications from my boss is why I brought that up.
Lindsay, I'm just trying not to think about this.
Yeah. A laptop or
Desktop.
desktop. Is that in your bedroom?
The room across me.
Is that, or is it just yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. The room across your bedroom.
Yeah.
Which is just yours. Now my question would be, let's add that computer to it. Have you ever searched it on that computer?
It's probably the same as my phone. It's just on the computer.
Okay, so these questions, it's a fishing expedition, but they are going to pull those records. They are going to search the phone. They are going to search those computers. And if he had searched it, this would be lying to them, which would be bad. Yeah, I'm actually repairing his foot. I'm doing a couple sutures right now as we speak, because somebody has to. The poor kid's bleeding out there on the bed.
Like, oh, hey, this guy needs a social worker. He needs someone to come down here for 2 weeks to give him an evaluation. You know,
If it makes you guys feel better, that's good. I don't think I can.
I don't know if you did it either. I mean, right now, you haven't given me any background that there's nothing with your family. You haven't explained anything that would cause any of these issues in your life. So you might be the first generation to have any problems if you did. You seem coherent to me.
I have limits to what I can do.
The only reason I even asked is
I am keeping pressure on the wound. Yep.
Sad ending to 3 lives that I'm trying to make sense of it. And when I can't make sense of it, because you don't come across as a monster. So that's the only thing I can think of is that something's going on in your life, and that's why I was trying to help you. Man, I know it seems like I wasn't, or I wasn't, like I didn't care, or I was kind of an asshole or something, but I'm not trying to be. I just, like, that's the only thing that makes sense. We are happy to go find the guy you're describing, catch him, arrest him, and put him in jail. That's what we do.
It's the blood pressure monitor you're hearing.
But when we start to do that, and we just get the very beginning of it, and there's no evidence to support it, and all of the evidence looks just like
What can I do?
It does. I mean, it's like so you. It's not even funny. But that doesn't mean that I know anything about you. I don't. I'm guessing. I don't know anything about your life or the struggles you're dealing with. I really don't. I don't have the clue. I've probably gotten close a couple times guessing, but
He has been guessing.
I don't have any idea. I don't know what it is in someone's life that would be so bad that this would happen. I don't. You know, I get it. You know, why would you tell me? But unless you see a benefit telling me what.
The police have asked him to hold off. They want to question him
I'm
first.
guessing it's so bad.
And this is, I guess, not.
It's either
I got close. I almost
too
had
hard
to
talk about
shift.
or too embarrassing to bring up or something.
I haven't really had anything.
Yeah,
Traumatic or traumatic.
no, I don't think that's be super traumatic or anything. I don't know what it is, honestly. I really don't. But I do know that burglars don't do this. A total stranger,
I think he's, at this point, he's pretty much lost the whole leg.
a total stranger that breaks into a house. That's not this. That's not total stranger stuff. None of this is total stranger stuff. Headshots are personal. Headshots are, I'm going to make you quick. I'm going to make sure you're dead. I'm not in the business to make you suffer. That's not my goal. My goal is just to stop what's going on in life.
Well, I don't really know too much
About
freedom of parents, but enemies or stuff like that.
yeah. Well, it's not your parents' thing. You've seen shows. You know how this works. Okay. What did your sister have to do with any of this?
I don't know.
I've got that game around here somewhere.
Maybe he expected me to hear from my phone, but it wasn't or something.
Are there bedrooms upstairs?
No.
Would you agree with me at least that it does seem like, from, you know, if you were in my
That
shoes,
looks like me.
yeah,
Yeah, some of it.
some of it, what parts you think?
But probably there's no evidence, like I just said.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah.
Keep talking, keep talking.
Any other part of it? What about the part where you talked about the reporter and people were probably shot?
I don't understand the word and everything.
Well, the evidence, based on part of the evidence in your statement, of course, is that you heard about 10 shots, maybe 11. Right?
Sure.
You said 10, I think. Something like that, okay. You said about 10 shots. And I can tell you the evidence is super close.
Super close?
Yes, you were almost spot on with that estimation of how many shots. If you're a guy that woke up sleeping, you'd think a couple of those shots would have went off. And then you would have woke up sleeping. But either way.
Have Vince, none of the other people on the street, whatever?
Yeah.
Did you interview them?
What?
Did you interview them?
No, I didn't interview anyone.
Or did they talk to you?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not going to tell you they did. I don't know. My coworkers, we go out, we do a canvas, it's super thorough. Like we said, we check all the cameras. Everyone's got a ring camera these days. Home surveillance stuff, especially in a nice neighborhood like your own. We check all kinds of things, Wi-Fi, signals, cell tower signals, you know, you name it, we check it, right? You interview people, talk about family backgrounds and stuff like that. So we'll interview them and say, hey, everything all right going over there? We might talk to coworkers, friends of the family and stuff like that, and just find out, you know, our mom and dad talking about you. Are they saying anything about you? You know, problems they're having with you, struggles they're having with you, or anyone else for that matter. Like the guy that was in the house, or they have problems with any guy that matches that description. Is there anything going on in the real estate, you know? And I just suspect we're not going to find anything to support that, just like we didn't find anything to support it yet. And then there's these cameras in your house that are strangely not working when this happens.
They should be working.
Right. If a burglar if a burglar had disconnected them, and your recollection is that the cameras work, but if a burglar had disconnected them, it would have been just minutes before the gunshot.
Do you know how long they've been out?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
Did you still them off?
Well, they're unplugged.
Well, one of them is a little
Well, I don't know what the answer to unplugged means then. Oh, like I said, I wasn't there. I was told. That's what I was told. So if I could be wrong on that one, but I'm just saying. And you're agreeing with me that it does. And I'm giving you the reasons I think it does. Have I been wrong before? Yes. Yep, I've been wrong before. Will I be wrong again? Yep, I'll be wrong again. Will that change your situation? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. We're going to do a thorough investigation. It's going to go on long after we're done talking today. Okay? We're going to get answers. We're going to take people. I always tell people the best time to really give us an explanation on why things happen.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit busy here. T-Rock's, he gave me an idea.
Lies to us.
So
Everyone lies to us. That's what they do. It's the police. Especially
this is harder than it looks.
They all lie to us. And I always tell them, I said, if you tell us the truth before we leave, you're not going to hold that against you.
I've got the bread basket. I can do the bread basket.
Okay? Situations like these are hard as shit to deal with. It's super challenging. So,
For some reason, the spare rib is in the Adam's apple. I think the game's been shaken up a little bit.
we always will be. Until we leave. Then we won't. Our story's the same. I know. He agrees that we're not wrong in our thinking. That
I've got a wrench in the foot.
Well, you know, have you, here's an honest to
Sorry.
question is, have you,
That was tougher.
have you felt a little different lately?
Just feeling like a doc. You know, been in the operating room for so long. Pretty much, I'm board
Well,
certified
just
now.
like, maybe not so much physically, but like, has your mind been racing or,
Do a little operation game.
you know, has your mind been racing or having, like, you had a lot of anxiety lately or hurt, like sometimes, especially males about your age, you know, it's not out of the normal for onset of mental health to, you know, that this can come on quickly. And so if maybe you've been feeling a little different, but you weren't really sure, and now that I'm saying it, you're like, you know.
My head feels pretty normal.
Okay. But not like having any
Thanks,
bad
T-Rox.
thoughts
Appreciate that.
lately?
Not really.
Okay. Some? You say not really. So
I'm trying
what?
to think if I do that.
Okay. Because if you don't necessarily understand, sometimes it can be explained by just,
You hear your voices?
No.
never.
Hey, you ever heard of demon in death purpose?
They're trying to give him outs. They're trying to get him to latch onto something.
They were to
And he keeps saying no. He's holding his own pretty well.
in their home and said it was an intruder. But later, when they went to jail, they changed their story and said Dad was abusing them and had been for pretty much their whole lives. And that was what they went to court with as far as their defense. And this has got a lot of hallmarks of that.
My parents would be good to me.
Right.
I'll say no. Forever.
So, we talked about going to Oregon. You were going to visit.
You guys are a fun group to hang out with. I really enjoy this.
Grandma.
She passed away.
Passed away, Grandpa.
Passed away.
Passed away.
I wish we could hear what's going on. I mean, that would be more fun.
That's what they just went on to work. They did like a couple weeks ago. Okay.
Think so?
Specific? No. It's just, most things has been going most of these persist yet because she might not have one.
Are your parents again now?
Not much has been. No ground's really been gained other than his denials and his assertions. He has said that he can see. He acknowledges that he looks bad. He's in a bad light. Like there's no evidence that anyone else was there. That makes him look bad. But no confessions.
So, I mean, like I said, reality's going to come crashing down pretty quickly, okay?
That's not how you use the chair, ma'am. Nope, still no. Oh, well.
Reality right now?
Okay, do you think you're going to sit here all day? Okay. So if you leave the hospital, if you choose what you do today, then do what?
Thanks, Weather Watch. Grab screenshots at all the wrong times. I can count on you for that.
Going home today is not going to be an option.
Yeah, he is locked into the story now.
There's a bunch of police officers at your house.
Does your dad, how do you support yourself right now? How do you support yourself right now?
How do I support myself?
Financially.
Yeah. Who pays for your Chick-fil-A?
Who pays for your Chick-fil-A?
My parents, because I'm 20 years old. Yeah. Who's going to pay for it tomorrow?
Do you have money in the bank?
$30.
Just $30 to his name.
I guess I have money, but
Right. At any point, did you have a conversation? At any point, did you have a conversation with your dad about you needing to go find a job? Recently?
since the start of summer. So,
What did he tell you?
well, that's just probably get a job.
Did he give you
I
some
think
ideas?
there's a lot of people.
Did he give you some ideas on where he thinks you should get a job?
I can turn it up a little bit more.
I think it was a good choice for the thing that was back.
Did he say that was a good choice, or did you do that one on your own?
I think he said a good place to start because they're going to open interviews.
He encouraged you to go try to get a job at Ivy. And how did that open interview go for you?
That's it. It was a while ago that they never got back to me.
When did you go to that interview?
I think they did it.
People just stumble on this channel. It's like, why is he in the middle of the screen? You all know. You all know why I'm here.
Maybe. So that's probably not the discussion we're talking about when you said your dad said it's summertime or you need to get a job.
Yeah, that was still third place.
Did Dad tell you he wasn't going to support your Chick-fil-A habit anymore?
His Chick-fil-A habit. Oh my God. I didn't mean to say that. Oh my gosh. That was a slip. I don't say that. They just assumed that he had a habit eating Chick-fil-A.
So you can continue to stay as long as you can get a job. But if
I feel awful, guys, right now. That's the first time in my life that word has slipped out the way that it just did. I apologize. That's not me. I'm sorry.
I guess you didn't say it directly, but you would imply it.
She implied, right? Because when he didn't understand what you were going through, he probably didn't even try to understand it.
Understanding.
To understand you, otherwise he would have given you a little more flexibility with this.
I've always been giving him $100.
How often?
Like, once a month.
Come on in.
Doctor's like, can we treat him yet? Thanks, Samantha.
Alex, who's your best friend?
Ryan Burke.
Who?
Ryan Burke.
Burke? Where's he
Come on
live?
in.
Could I choose you to see him? Where's he live?
Gibson.
Hello, hi, I'm Dr. Dole.
Hi, doctor. Help
Do
yourself.
you do any social media?
We are still in conversation, so if you want
I just do it for memes, you know.
What Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram, Snapchat, we don't really use it.
Do you want to?
Yeah, this is exactly.
The doctor's like, hey, we're having a conversation here. Can you wait?
Does your sister have a lot of friends?
Yeah.
Who's her best friend? What'd you say Brian's last name was?
Burrack, B-U-R-R-A-C-K.
How do you know him?
From middle school. When I moved here.
Does he live in Cedar Rapids, you said?
Yeah, New York Gibson.
Like by old Gibson?
Yeah.
Doctor wants to take a look at his foot for a second.
Hi, Andrew. I'm Dr. Dole. I'm your podiatry.
Okay, I'm going to watch them work on the foot.
So, your doctor just asked me to come take a look at your foot to see if there's anything we need to do.
Now it's my foot.
So, that's all right. I'm just going to take a look. Okay. Are you having a lot of pain right now?
Not right now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's actually good for the investigators that
Tell
he's
me
not in a
little
lot of
bit
pain
what
right now.
happened. The foot here.
I got shot in the foot when I was falling around.
Okay. Okay. Are you having any pain in the leg?
Not yet, but you're about to.
Pressure or pain on the back of the foot here? Any pressure or pain up through here?
No, it's pretty numb.
Okay, pretty numb right now. Can you wiggle your toes for me? Okay, good. Can you feel me touching you?
Yeah.
What about through here? Yep, good. Here?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
And here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no nerve damage, no serious nerve damage.
Yep, and then push your toes down against my hand. Good. Bring your toes back toward you that direction. Good. Can you push toward my hand there? Good. And then out this direction here. Okay, good. Do you guys have a Doppler in here? Yes. You've already done that. I just wanted to Doppler. We have here. Yeah. Okay. Well, hours ago. Okay.
The Doppler's the loud. It's like the baby monitor for a heart rate, for a heartbeat in extremities. So here's the static. This is the Doppler machine. It's very loud.
Alex, your phone was on the hallway, you said? Yeah. What kind of phone is yours? Would you have a passcode on it?
Yeah.
They're asking about the password on his phone.
Are you going to look at it or something?
Well,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go straight far in the throat.
Hero Hito 49.
Hero what?
Hito? What's the Japanese alphabet?
How to spell it?
Hirohito. And 49. I don't think there's any caps.
He says his password is the Japanese F word.
Yeah.
Is that what he just said?
It's not a number?
Dr. Lauren on 08.
Oh, you want my order?
Dr.
No, but the
Lauren on
password to
08.
get in.
password.
Oh, it has words.
Yeah.
You said it's here HIROHITO 49.
Yeah.
Now what does that mean? It's a Japanese.
Prime Minister of Japan back in World War II.
HIROHITO?
Yeah.
49. Is there Japanese,
Oh, that's a Japanese warlord. General. I thought he said Japanese F word.
Japan? Is your grandpa also?
I think he's from America. He's from
So your dad's 50% Japanese?
He's
Ryan King is the resident, but Bob Gardner's the other one.
Okay.
Japanese emperor, maybe. Okay.
Yep.
There you go, Kat. Thank you. I googled it. It's got his picture.
Oh, you like history?
Bullet went clear through his foot, apparently. They have not found it at this point.
Pyramids fascinate. I get fascinated by those. Do you? Michael? Yeah? How do you think they're doing?
I thought they showed a bunch of workers.
Maybe. I thought they flooded it and slowed the blocks up.
That makes no sense. Does that make any sense to you?
No, I've seen it on TV.
You seen blocks of stone float?
Well, because if you're in water, if I could pick you up in water.
It'd be hard to do that. Pyramids.
Okay, guys. Well, what do you guys think happened?
Or they just like a houseboat, they put the plastic,
What are they talking about?
Listen, if you got in water, right now I might struggle to pick you up, but if you got in water, I could pick you up. Right?
I think you could probably do it either way.
Well, but it would be easier in water. Right?
What do you want us to do with you today? What do you think we have to do? Based on what I told you about...
Greg Ryder, you have a pharmacy calling 05. Greg, 05.
Somewhere else? Was that here?
You're not going to stay here.
You're probably not going to keep it
No,
for that.
I asked him out
You
there.
can't go back home, it's crime scene. So other options include jail. Which is not crazy.
Dr. Keating,
I
on 09.
haven't cited. Okay.
Dr. Keating,
Cited, that's the
09.
place where you're not. Just given all that we know.
Somewhere else.
Maybe she means very small rocks.
You know, in the long run, whether it be jail or you can go to, what did you say your best friend's name was?
Ryan Barak.
The Steve Computer Evans. Yeah. He's not just some guy you know online, right?
No. I met him on those.
Yes, Twisted Branches.
Brian or
The guy in the blue
Ryan?
shirt is currently testifying in court
Is this one you're
live.
up to?
So this evidence is coming in while he's being questioned.
Well, if I wanted to know who knows the most about you in the entire world, who would it be besides yourself?
How do you spell Barak?
B-U-R-A-C-K.
B-U-R-I?
B-U-R-R-A-C-K, I think.
Who would know the most about you?
I guess so.
Him?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of friends? Yeah. Who else then?
Cole Carr.
Cole Carr?
Yeah. K-J-A-R.
K-H-A-R.
K-J-A-R.
You can elect to get a membership if you want, but you just being here is enough. Don't feel like you need to have a membership.
You were really friends with people you were friends with in middle school? You're friends with people?
If you're on an iPhone, it makes it a little harder. You have to use a computer or Safari.
You get to college and there's a lot of high school, like my best friends in high school, I don't even talk to anymore.
Petrified wood does not float.
You still maintain that.
I have some if you want to see some.
Does Rena have a lot of friends?
Yeah.
Did you like any of them?
Sure.
Well,
I didn't really know anything.
you say sure, but that's like saying like, whatever. You either do or you don't.
I guess they like to come over and not like it.
Would they come over?
Yeah.
Would friends come over? Would your friends come over? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the doctor. They're going to start working on it now.
When was the last time you had anything to eat or drink?
Last night.
Last night? Okay. Alright, so nothing, no food this morning at all? Okay. I
Just
didn't,
some water.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're a pretty healthy guy. Any other health issues that you have?
Just allergies.
Okay. Any heart, lung issues, something like that? Okay. You're not diabetic? Okay. So here's what I think. I think we should at least rinse this out, clean it out, make sure that it's cleaner, okay? Because when you talk about, gunshot wound going in there, you have a lot of dirty metal going into the foot. You want to clean it out.
Possibly powder residue.
You do have on your x-ray, looks like some fracture, your bones in some pieces there. But the things that I'm most concerned about, the artery in that area, that looks good. I can hear your artery. So that's a good thing. We'd treat you with no weight on the foot, okay? So you'd be on crutches. Not able to put weight on there because of the fracture, your bones in a few pieces there.
You want to heal?
We want to heal, in that position. But I think you would benefit from at least cleaning it out, just to rinse it out, make it cleaner, and then you'd still be on antibiotics and everything. But I think I would anticipate you'd be able to go after the surgery, after you wake up from anesthesia, okay? But that won't be for a couple hours because we got to get everything set up in the operating room and have to finish up with a couple other patients. But that would be the plan for today. Do you have questions about any of that?
So the cops heard. We have a couple more hours to question him before he gets sedated.
And typically, I don't close the bullet hole wounds, okay? Because if we close it, then we're just closing off where an infection could start in there. And so those are going to have to heal in. Your body's going to have to heal those all in, okay? But I might need to make the hole a little bit bigger to wash it out and kind of close that portion of it, okay? And then we keep you on antibiotics for a couple weeks till we know that you're not going to have an infection. I mean, the biggest risk for this type of surgery is that, if it didn't heal or if it became infected, you might have to have a repeat surgery to clean it out again, okay? Other risks are you still have some risk to that artery and to the nerve surrounding the area, so you could have numbness in that area later on. If the fracture doesn't heal, there's a chance you have to have surgery later on to put plates and screws in there to heal it up and put it in a better position, okay? Luckily, the bone looks like it's in a good position right now to heal as it is, and since it's a contaminated wound and because it's in quite a few pieces, I wouldn't recommend putting hardware or plates and screws in there right now, okay? So today is just to clean it out and make it cleaner. Alright? Alright, sounds good. So we'll get you set up on the schedule for later this afternoon then, okay? Ready.
You guys just gonna continue until that? So he'll go home tonight, hopefully, or be discharged tonight after he wakes up. And I'll let you know when I have a time.
Can he continue to have water?
No.
Without water?
No, because they'll do surgery and they go on. Like a washout, I don't think it takes more than, I don't work an hour, but I would say like 15, 20 minutes. Like, how's that there? I just can do it here. No.
So no more water.
Or just chat with you for a minute and then we can.
If they can't give him water, can they keep questioning him? This is one of the officers has been standing guard outside in the hallway, keeping the doctors away. Comes in just to watch him.
Or better than you. At least it's done bleeding.
Hey Maggie, if you're on an iOS device, it's sort of hard to find those options. You might have to go to Safari and to go to YouTube in Safari to find them, or on a computer. iOS makes it difficult. So the officers are talking to the doctors. They want to get as much information out of them as they can. They want to continue this for as long as they can until they get the answers they want. I'm glad I am where I am. Sorry. They can't leave him alone, right? They're worried about his well-being. Let's put it that way. I don't believe the bullet is in his foot. I believe it passed clear through. They've already done an X-ray, and they probably would have said that if they could see it.
No.
He said, "Have you ever been shot?" DMB.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
The officer's just staring at that foot. He's not supposed to talk to him. He's not in there interrogating. He's not an investigator. But if he talks to him, then he can just have regular conversation. Yeah, no water, no talkie. I believe this is probably an overnight situation, and then he'd be out on crutches the next day.
What do you think about? I mean, kind of see the wheels turning up there. Don't know what to do.
I didn't imagine it.
You guys are great.
Like what?
Someone briefly did
Hello, station investigator registered officer. Can I register it?
See if those guys are ready for that.
Okay.
Are they still talking right out there?
You can just call us if it's ready. I'll be back.
Registration?
Yeah.
Okay.
They never said they were going to film him. They just started filming. He did wave his Miranda rights.
Registration.
Oh, like,
Yeah, just to be registered here.
Twisted Branches, that's awesome. We hit 5,500 today. That is excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, this exactly. Vomiting while under sedation is just one more thing the doctors don't want to have to deal with when they've got you cut open, working with arteries and everything else.
Dog's name. Hero? Did you pick that out?
Hiro.
yeah, I guess.
So that's the second
Your
Japanese
dog,
name.
family dog.
I think the bullet went clear through, but I don't think the police found it. We'll have to see.
Gets into trouble.
These things he's not supposed to.
That's what?
These things he's not supposed to.
Yeah. Is it mostly your dog, or?
Just family's dog.
No. Just growing up, we had a family dog, but it's pretty much my dog, so everyone liked to pretend like it was theirs, but you knew who we liked more.
Yeah, the mistrial, I wasn't surprised by that, but I would be very surprised if it was granted.
Yeah.
It's the funny thing is
I slept in my
it's
bed.
their own
and I was
mistake.
a family dog, so I always figured it was my dog.
Yeah, he's been sitting there for a while. This is going on a couple
Your
hours.
dog?
Both.
Yeah.
Got what he's saying here on the side.
Yeah.
Michelle, what did I talk about? I just assume I know what you're talking about and answer that way. They called for a mistrial as soon as they stopped the video right before lunch break, I believe, because they had included in the video a portion where the female detective told Alexander that basically, I can tell you're lying because the heart rate monitor speeds up every time you lie. And under a pretrial agreement, they had agreed to keep that part out. But the two parts they took out, which were the ones they talked about, did not cover this third part.
One's a border collie and one is a beagle and Boston Terrier mix. They're getting old though. No, not too bad.
It would count. It would count. It's just he's probably not a trained interrogator. And so they wouldn't want him doing that because he doesn't know the proper methods.
Take off and run 5 blocks away. Wasn't very good at sticking around. Was yours a runner?
I'm surprised they're letting everybody in here with no masks, considering when this occurred.
I think his life is pretty centered around food.
Yeah, as most dogs are.
Thanks, Samantha. Hey, Twisted Branches just gifted 5 memberships. And Holly Henderson, Rachel Wood, Christy Busby, Southern Manners, and NC Girl for Life. Congratulations. You have Twisted Branches to thank for a gift membership. Thank you so much, Twisted Branches, for your generosity. If you are still in gray and want to make yourself eligible for any potential future gifts, if you go up on the screen where that little 5 gift button occurs at the top of the chat and you click on that, it should have a drop down and select. You have an option to turn on the receive gifts on this channel, which is a little slider button. I think you have to make the blue line appear, so it means you slide it to the right. At least for me, that's how it works to turn it on. And that enables gifts. But congratulations to the big wieners, says Katrina. You are a wiener. He consented to speak with police after Miranda. Show me where he consented to medical persons disclosing and talking about his medical history. Patty, they're talking with him. The police are sort of just overhearing that.
There's a lawsuit.
I think they're okay on this one, just the way the HIPAA rules are written. If the hospital was recording this themselves and then giving this to the police without a warrant, that might be an issue. Good cop, bad cop, real cop. This is a new one, Adam. I've never seen this in use before. Holly says, thank you so much. All of my wildest dreams have come true. Good to have you here in green, Holly.
We'll discuss with them. All right. Thank you.
Okay, looks like they're coming back in. We get some more questions. Now the officer's going to drink water in front of him.
I told them to talk to you guys. Oh, they found just.
They're both drinking, but he can't.
When they come. Alright. You gonna keep hanging out out here?
Yes, please. Unless if you want someone else to relieve you.
Yep. Tell me about cleaning that gun last night.
Last time we used to do this.
When was the last time you got that thing out to clean it with your dad for the bonding time? Where did you get it from?
Let's see. I think we had a box. And I think I took it out of my room. Maybe. Because you know that room where the exorcist.
Which is down by your room, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was yesterday?
Yeah.
You took it out of either your room or the exercise room yesterday?
Out of the box.
And then you put it over where?
Out into the fireplace.
Okay. And you and your dad were both cleaning it, or just you?
Over both parents and trying to see what was wrong.
How many times have you taken that particular gun out before? few times you've taken it out, it's jammed, so you decided to clean up.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, so what do you got out? So tell me what it looks like to clean up.
We got that ram rod thing. But I know we put that back. At least I put it back in. Pressure sensor.
Okay, anything else? Cleaning stuff?
Well, you know what? It's just like a random big towels.
Right. So you clean the barrel.
Yeah. We're cleaning the whole thing. We didn't want our hands.
Tell me about it. Is it a bolt action or what is that?
It's semi-automatic.
How many rounds did it hold?
I don't know. Up to 12. I don't know. I don't know how many bolts it to, but there was a whole lot.
Okay. We're talking just this particular one there. And how long before you cleaned it and you used it last? We're talking a month, a week, 6 months.
Well, I think I looked at it once, but we haven't shot it for a while because of how expensive ammunition is.
How much ammo did you have for it?
I would say one box.
Okay.
So the box that was laying next to it?
Probably.
Why'd you have a box of ammo next to it?
Just split out.
So what?
Get the bullets sticking out. Because that's what they were doing in their game.
So you got them out. You put them in the box, right?
Well, they're in the box. I brought the box out.
Was it empty when you got it out to clean it? It was loaded.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, well, the gun wasn't loaded.
Okay, the gun was...
But the magazine was.
No.
So the gun in your house was not loaded?
No.
Trying to tweak the audio a little bit.
You have an empty box laying around that you get some rounds off into?
No, we had the ammo box that we were... I had the ammo box there too.
To load the magazine.
Sure. It's not like magazine.
We love Abby. I think she was one of our first mods, and she was absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Abby.
Okay. So the bad guy came into your house and loaded the gun too?
I guess.
So would there be any reason that your fingerprints would be on those shells then?
The shells? Mm-hmm. Probably when I was drawing them out.
When you were what?
Drawing them out. Fixing it and stuff.
Okay, so well, where were those rounds before, as you emptied them, you put them where?
Back in the box.
Okay.
You said
so
you told me earlier you didn't leave the gun there at the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
You cleaned it and then it got put away?
No, I put away things that I went down. No, I thought it was cleaning for that.
No, I'm talking way over here in our conversation. You talked about you're not sure where you left the gun, but one on the fireplace. Where Dad would have put it.
I think because my dad was also still looking at it or something.
You said the gun was not left out on the fireplace where you cleaned it. You said
it was.
Okay, so it was left on the fireplace.
Yeah.
And so, but now what we do need to believe is that this burglar came into your house, sat there, loaded the gun.
Good luck,
Are we
Suzanne.
going to find anybody else's fingerprints on those shell casings besides you and your dad?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Why not?
Well, it's just because we.
Okay, so whoever loaded those then would have been you or your dad.
Well, the burglar could have.
Well, I just asked you that.
Yeah.
Will we find any other fingerprints on the shell casings
Besides me.
besides you or your dad?
Yeah, well, you could have gloves or something.
When you told us the gun was empty.
Yeah.
And you already said he didn't have gloves.
What?
You've already said he didn't have gloves.
I understand.
Yeah.
I never said he had.
Wait, but, I asked. You said he had a ski mask on.
Well, yeah, that's why I couldn't.
Yeah, no gloves. And if you're fighting with the hands, that would be something that would stand out. So.
Well, there's not much description of it.
Okay, yeah, and that's weird.
Well, it's just because he's a white clothing.
Okay, well.
I've handled the cards. I haven't played the game much.
No, I'm not trying to do anything. What I'm saying is, so there's not going to be anybody else's fingerprints on those shells.
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
We don't know the motive yet.
Yeah,
They're still
swab
fishing,
your hands.
trying to find that.
Okay.
Possibly the parents that wanted him to get a job, do better in
Did
school.
you go up? Huh? Yeah, that stuff doesn't last through the night. And like you said, you cleaned it and
It's paper ammo box.
You fired it. I mean, we have evidence of that, so I guess we're okay on that portion, right?
But as far as, how we swab that blood too,
Yeah.
well, then Brandon will take that back and lab test. And is there a reason that not all of that blood is not yours?
Probably because I was crawling around.
Okay. How were your moms?
My mom's put up.
Could spatter, and it had spattered on your hand?
No way.
Huh?
No way.
No way?
Yeah, how would it be on there? Because you said she was upstairs, right?
When you said that.
But she's I never saw her, so.
Okay. You said she was upstairs.
Well, I'm assuming that's where she is.
Okay.
She was someone shot her upstairs.
And so
5 times.
that's when he swabs everything. Okay? Is there any reason why your mom's blood would be anywhere on your body?
Not that I know.
Okay, so if it is what?
What?
If it is, huh? No, well, you don't know that. So if it is, because see, we get blood spatter on the wall that you don't necessarily see, and you've got a lot of blood, and that's why Brandon took lots of different swabs from everywhere. So then what he does is then it all gets tested. Did you go upstairs at any point to where your mom's blood could be on your body?
Can you say that again?
Did you go upstairs and get within close enough range then none of your mom's blood will be on your body?
Right.
They got him in a corner.
So what happens when it is?
I don't know.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? Are you going to continue to tell me that you had nothing to do with this?
Yes.
You are?
That's the whole story there is.
No, it's not. You're going to continue with that story.
What's my story?
Tell me about
It is your story. It's a great story?
It's the correct story.
Well, in your mind.
Tell me about Daddy.
What about
Okay. Where were...
Mr. Shear, I want to hit pause for a second.
Hey, we got to pause.
We're just going to, it's after lunch. We've had low lights. I think we could all benefit just from a quick stretch. I know I could. So.
Here we go. Everyone stand up. Reach up to the sky. Take a deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs. Put your arms out to the sides. And relax. Breathe out. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Deep breath, everybody. I swear this judge was a PE teacher in elementary school in his other life.
Thank you, Mr. Sheeran. You can resume the video.
So either he fell asleep or a jury member did. That's basically what just happened.
Okay. I think Tyrone is the first one.
So how long did... Okay, well, let's go back. How long has it been since your mom retired?
Probably since we moved to Newport.
Yeah.
And then, before we moved here, she had her own business.
Oh, she's a photographer.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm back.
Did your sister, did you tell us that she worked anywhere?
Half of our stores.
Oh, half of our stores. Okay. Tell me more about your dad. About when he retired.
I think he was fed up with international paper. Because he's a manager there, but he just didn't really like it.
He got along with people?
Yeah, he had some friends there, but I know he didn't like his boss.
Does he get along with people in general?
What?
Does he get along with people in general? Including you? Then why are you guys having so many problems with it? What about him telling you need to move out if you're not going to get a job?
Well, that's just because it's what I should do.
Okay, so he's admitted that his dad told him he needed to move out if he didn't get a job.
That's what I should do.
Did Dad confront you about your grades?
Not really.
No, come on now.
He's trying to make sure I get a job.
He called you out on it. You're not going to pay for that. You've been over this.
Well, no, he promised to pay half of it.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to make sure I turned in jobs to pay for the rest of it.
Yeah. If I'm going to pay for half of your college, you're going to get a job.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for the other half. You're not showing any effort. You haven't showed a drop of effort to go get a job. You've been
jobs.
Huh?
I've done job applications.
You showed up for the open interview at ID?
Yeah.
What are you hoping to get a job being the number one guy on Halo?
No.
Okay.
We should talk about it.
Heidi, how are you going to pay for college with a part-time job at Heidi?
Loans or something.
Loans or something? You don't have it figured out. He swore you didn't have it figured out either. And it's all going to come back on him. Am I right? He was concerned about that. Am I right?
Well, no, it's just following.
It depends what evidence they've got.
Because
If they're ready to run with it, they could arrest him right away. He might be arrested before he leaves the hospital.
Yeah, because he's just paying for the first time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can be on your own soon.
Yeah.
You're not going to continue to support your habits. Right?
Right.
Isabel, I do have a burner phone.
Is that frustrating? Is that frustrating?
If you need the number, you just have to do exclamation point burner and check.
It's not more
And it will
sympathetic
show up.
Well, no, I understand. What's the best for me?
Probably wants the best from you.
Yeah.
Does he get that?
My hand, I guess.
You would know. I mean, according to you, he's not. The 2 years that you paid for it, you probably got what? 30 credits?
Sure.
In 2 years. Sure. And shouldn't you have double that?
Yeah, for this semester and stuff. And then you're going to do all online.
Right. I'm telling you, he was frustrated. I can tell. I can tell in your reactions. I'm not saying they're justified. Okay? But this is an issue between the two of you. This grades, you're not having a job.
Well, I was working on it.
Is he okay with how fast you were working on it?
As long as I get one for this summer.
Summer job? What are you going to pay for the summer job?
So I can start stockpiling. That's where
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of luck stockpiling a part-time IV job to pay for that. Listen, the whole point of this is that I understand where you're at, and I understand how hard it is to deal with a parent who's got expectations that are not reasonable.
Hy-Vee is a grocery store, by the way. So he's going to work at a grocery store.
I know
I
that.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but you weren't accomplishing what he was hoping.
Well, I was working.
If you weren't working hard enough, and I gotta assume you was being frustrated, because if you were working hard enough, jobs are a dime a dozen right now. You could go get one anywhere, doing anything at any time. You could show up and have a paycheck by the end of the day almost. That's how many jobs are available right now. Okay? And school is totally doable.
T-Rox is taking internet ownership to the next level. Great job, T-Rox.
With no job, with no girlfriend, okay, should have all the time in the world to pass classes with a B.
With a B. No job, no girlfriend. You have all the time in the world to pass classes with a B.
And he was paying for it.
Okay.
I'm not asking for it. It wasn't my money. But if you want to tell me that he was upset, legitimately upset with you about this, and that him railing on you,
He's letting me make my own mistakes.
You've done that. He probably didn't anticipate it, you know, it would come to this.
Well, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm only watching if it's in 4K, Matthew.
Is there any part of you that
He's not as acutely interested in the phone as before.
wasn't that coming?
Let me ask you this.
I think, Matt, if he wants to play this, I'm good at this point.
We haven't been in your house.
Because, well,
So, okay.
can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
Before we,
Yeah.
because at this point, after doing that, I'm kind of good at it for a while. So, can you just stay right there for a minute?
Okay, we have a natural break. What happened here? Oh, somebody woke the judge up. There's another objection. A little bit of a sidebar. The newest video from Matthew Harris is why you're supposed to plead not guilty even if you did it. It looks good already.
Mr. Scheer, that's the end of this video. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
thank you.
I'm going to give you folks a choice. We have another video. I've been informed it's approximately 25 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
So we can take that's been a lot of video.
He was
take a
20
break now,
when the crime was committed?
or we can...
He's 22 now.
Kind of proceed with the next video and take a break after. So I have no strong preferences. I know you're the ones who've been sitting here paying attention, and I'd like to give you a choice. Do you have any strong preferences? I'm seeing... All right. I'm hearing keep going from the gallery, so...
They're like, please just make it
Mr.
end.
Scheer,
Let's
you
get
may,
through this and be done.
I don't believe, investigator, that I remind
Aziz.
you that you are still under oath to tell the truth. And with that, Mr. Scheer, do you have some questions first?
I do, and Your Honor, I would also just like to
Lights.
clarify for the record, on State Exhibit number 5, we ended at 1:07 p.m., and the court asked if that was the end of the video. That's all that we were playing, but there is another about hour and a half, but there is no further questioning.
I'm bringing
or
back the top
speaking
end.
in that video, so we just wanted to clarify with the court there was still another hour and a half left of the video that the parties agreed not to play.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There was another 2 discs that we didn't get to watch because there was nothing happening.
Detlinger, we saw quite a lengthy interview conducted with the defendant at the hospital. Was that the only time that you spoke to the defendant?
No, it was not.
When did you speak to the defendant again?
I spoke to him again later that evening, approximately 8:30 p.m.
Where did you speak to him at?
At the Cedar Rapids Police Department.
And I think you said you spoke to him around 8 p.m.?
It was sometime after 8 for about a half an hour, between 8 and 9.
Why was there a significant gap in time from when you first spoke to the defendant at the hospital to when you spoke to him again at the Cedar Rapids Police Department?
We left the hospital so he could have his treatment on his foot.
And so was he discharged from the hospital when he was brought to the Cedar Rapids Police Department?
Yes.
So no further treatment was needed at that time?
Correct.
What I have already loaded is State's Exhibit 153. It is a recording of the interview that you conducted with the defendant at the Cedar Rapids Police Department. Have you had a chance to review that interview?
I have.
And when reviewing that interview, does State's Exhibit 153 represent a fair and accurate copy of that interview?
It does.
No death penalty
Your Honor,
in
at this
Iowa.
time, I would ask that State's Exhibit 153 be admitted into the record and be published for the jury.
Mr. Johnson?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and at this time, State's Exhibit 153 is admitted, and you may publish it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's you, Aziz.
Get through any technical difficulties.
How can it be worse audio than the hospital? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to have to do all sorts of work on this. Man. I was in a wheelchair. I would have made him hobble on crutches.
Alex, do you want to rest your leg on a chair so you can put that ice on it? Oh, that's probably a good thing. All right, let's do that. Better? Hey, let me have that. Let me go to bag ice.
They're icing the kicker.
You good? You need water in there, then? I'm fine for right now. For right now? Yeah. Okay. Ice back in. Yeah.
So this is 25 minutes, guys. Start your watches here. You can see the slider bar. It's already moving across the bottom. We're seeing progress.
You said no water? Sure. Now you want water? Yeah. Hey. Okay.
I tell you, I hire myself out as a consultant for police stations to get better audio. I can just, I'm cheap. Just hire me, I'll get good audio for you. Why they stick the microphone and the camera inside the air vent, I will never know.
All right, he'll be right here with us, water. If you need anything, I'll be right outside the door to shower, okay?
I'll be right outside the door if you need anything. That means you're not going anywhere because I'm standing guard.
Thank you. Yep, same goes. If you need anything, give me a shout, okay? Okay.
Yeah, backup crutches. He doesn't get to keep the wheelchair. Might be a puke bag. I don't know. What's that green thing? I did just come out of general anesthesia, I think, for the surgery. This is same day, post-surgery, now at the police station. He's in. They brought him down here, so I believe he's in custody at this point. Yes, all this was built by the lowest bidder. That is what we have to keep in mind when we look at government video. I'm sorry, it was so loud in my ears. Am I shouting? I will stop shouting.
Hey, Alex, how you doing? Better. That's good. They put a cast on your foot.
Oh, cute. They're matching.
Yeah. Is all this stuff yours? Probably. I think so. I'm just gonna leave it right there. It'll be fine.
He shoves it with a piece of paper. He doesn't want to touch it.
Hey, a few more developments. Okay. I'd like to chat about, maybe you could tell me about your foot too, but I'm going to read your rights again, just like we did before, okay? Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney and to have an attorney present during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided by the court without cost to you if you wish. You understand those? Yeah. I'll let you sign there at the top if you want to talk to us. Yeah, you just, there you go. Well, if you don't mind, why don't you
Sorry, I missed
tell
that
us
too.
what they told you about your foot? What's the prognosis? I think there's
It's a boy?
fracture or something. I kind of remember her saying that. Then she made some reference about maybe there's an artery or something that runs through there, or a nerve or something. I think some nerve damage.
Is it numb?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah. Here with your toes and stuff?
A little bit, yeah. Sure.
That's good.
So they give you a thumbs up though, like you should be able to walk on it when it's all healed up. Yeah, I think so, yeah. That's good.
What's the ice pack for?
Swelling or something.
On your knee?
Because the blood.
Oh.
Yep. Slows it down. Well, that's good. Hey, so I know when we left, we kind of told you where we were at on this thing, and you told us where you were at on that thing. So one of the big things that we needed to really hammer out was this video,
Yes,
right?
very much on
this
purpose.
Ring video from your house that would help substantiate some of what you told us. And I talked to my guy Jeff. He does all the forensic or digital forensic type stuff, phones and computers and cameras and things like that for us. Good news, he did a search warrant for the ring and got it back. There are no clips of anyone leaving your house. That one in the back, there is a clip there that they were looking at, and it just kind of, we use that as an example of how much of your yard it covered. That was the whole backyard. Okay, I didn't know that was one in the back. Yeah. I thought it was just one. So, there's that one, right? And there's that one camera in the backyard.
Did he just say, I didn't know there was one in the back?
Yeah, I mean, they're apparently motion activated.
Because last night, didn't they get him dumping water out the...
Yeah, you can
dump some water out the back? A bucket of water?
Maybe my parents did. No, he said it looked like you. Did your dad look like you? Sure. Okay. Well, someone went out back, dumped a bucket of water, maybe went up to that screened-in porch. Okay. Oh, okay. You clearly didn't know about the camera, but I'm telling you, there's a camera back there. It captures your whole backyard, including what appeared to be you. I didn't personally see it. I'm just relaying what he told me. Okay. And he also told me there's no video of anyone leaving. Okay. The front, same thing. No video of anyone leaving. With that in mind, I know that earlier was really stressful for you. You know, you'd just been shot in the foot. Things were rough. Now's a good time that if you want to, let us into your little world about what happened. We're all ears. Like I said before about lying to us, we understand people have reasons, and we can't promise you that if we weren't in your shoes, we wouldn't do the same thing. But at some point, you gotta just be honest with us, man. We know no one left.
Well, I'm telling you how I saw it, you know?
Right. You still think someone was there?
Yeah. I know someone was there.
Okay, how did they get out?
I can't really remember. Probably the door they came in, or...
But they didn't.
But you were upstairs.
They didn't.
There's just not...
We have you have video. My dad has videos on the front and back of the house and on the garage. The only exit and entry points.
Did you and your dad wash cars yesterday?
Yeah.
They're sort of lying.
How would we know that? Because it's on the camera.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think-
what we're saying is...
I think the cameras don't catch
like
the
Matt
whole
told you,
backyard.
The videos come back. He expedited the search warrant since we're investigating a homicide. Okay, so it got back quickly, and nobody left your house after the shooting had happened. All right.
I'm looking forward to the Alec Baldwin case.
You woke up yesterday, or today.
That'll be interesting.
Was it 8:12 when you said that, or you called 911?
21.
I think we'll see the video,
I'm sorry, I may have gotten that slightly wrong,
but
Okay.
How long
there's
before
nothing to
that
see,
did
really.
you wake up for the day?
The defense will probably show it.
5 to 10 minutes, I don't know.
Okay, so conservatively, we could say you were asleep till at least 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's using your phone at 6 a.m. to get on social media? Who's using your phone at 6 a.m. to get on social media?
Maybe me? I don't know. I don't remember.
How could you use it at 6 if you were asleep till 8? You see what we're saying, Alex? It's time.
Alex.
Time to just.
Not the point.
The gig's up, bud.
No one left. You're awake much earlier than you called. Okay, because you're brainstorming how to get your ass out of this trouble you're in. That's clear. In addition, we know when people were shot in that house. We know that it's not physically possible for someone to get... When you heard shots, you said you told us earlier that you'd heard maybe 10 shots.
Something like that.
Sure. They're just in a row? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 or whatever? In a row? All one little burst?
No. Maybe some bursts, but not in a row.
Okay. Tell us about that.
I was just in like a few bursts or something.
Yeah. How long are we talking about? 10 seconds total, or 5 seconds, or 2 seconds? Or 10 minutes?
A minute, maybe?
So there's a little gap, and there's like a minute.
So he sat there for a minute, listened to gunshots inside his house.
Shots in a minute or something.
Okay. So over a minute, there's about 10 shots.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in that
No,
minute,
I think he threw a temper tantrum.
You clearly woke up after the first shot. Otherwise, you wouldn't guess there was 10, right? Or what you perceived to be the first shot.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Came in, went straight downstairs. Well, how's the bad guy supposed to get past you upstairs to kill your mom? And then come back downstairs only to be standing down there when you get down there to confront him.
Well, maybe I was kind of a bit slow about getting downstairs, but that's...
I don't know what the timing is of the shootings.
I was...
We haven't heard yet from the autopsies how long they've been dead. That will definitely be an interesting factor. See if that lines
How
up with
far
his
from the back door
timeline.
are the steps?
The back door to the steps?
No, the back door of the house, from the screen porch. Once you walk in, can you see the steps?
No.
Okay, you gotta turn and go somewhere?
You said I go through the kitchen into the hallway.
Or through the living room, you could get there.
We have a dog fence there right now.
Oh.
Mom doesn't want us going through it. So.
Okay, but you can step over it. You're
I can go back there if you want. I've got a little smaller, a small TV.
Okay. Well, let's just say that we hammered out every detail. We took into account your theory about a ski masked intruder coming in with the worst description on the planet, and we gave it due diligence. Okay? I told you we went into this, and there was nothing about this story that seemed like it was an intruder, right? But you didn't want to change your story. You wanted to stick with the intruder. And we wanted to be thorough. And we wanted to be thorough in the really, really off chance. And I know why. And the why is a pretty good reason. Okay, you got a lot of baggage dealing with that family. I get it. We all know about it. We've talked to your friends. We've talked to friends of your sisters. You know, we understand the baggage of the weight that you're under. You know, these things do not just come out of the blue.
Christy P., thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Christina Bear, Antoinette, Tar Healer, Lindsay Len, and Sunny Florida Mom have you to thank.
Throwing that out, knowing that that's not possible, we're coming to you for an explanation. Not some story. A story's made up.
The story's made up.
An explanation for what brought you there today. What got you to that point in your life? I got my paper out. I'll write it down, man. Well, I didn't do it. I was gone at home. Look at me. I went home. Sarah went home. We came back to listen to you, to tell us what happened.
Alex, I mean, we went through what you said, okay?
Okay.
Because we wanted to find, listen, I'll give you the respect and believe you until it just gets to the point where it's just fantasy now, okay? And when we get, so what do? We expedite the ring cameras because hey, if we can see some guy coming and going from the house, that is what we need to see. Well, we don't see that. So in order for your story to be true, that means somebody would have had to bypass your ring cameras and not set them off.
Using the Jedi mind tricks.
A door was unlocked and they picked the right door to be unlocked.
Well, we don't usually lock our doors.
Okay, fine. But then for them to know that, now you call them an intruder, but I'm not going to call them that because nobody came in there to burglarize anything. They came in there to murder people because that's all that happened there. No items were taken. But if they came there to murder people, like you said, then they would have had to get lucky enough that you had left a gun out for them and left ammunition out so they could load the gun. And then be able to know right where everybody's at and shoot everyone and get in a fight with the biggest person in the house and struggle with the gun and be able to escape without you hurting them or without them setting off the cameras. So they've now come and gone.
Christine, congratulations.
And we have none of that. So we looked in, that's your story. I'm pretty sure if I tell that story to you, you cannot sit there and look me in the eye and say, yeah, well, that did happen. Because come on, you just heard me say it. That's not even possible. It's not, Alex.
You developed that story before you realized there was a camera on the back of your house. Because I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think Dad puts those things out. You don't pay that close attention to them. And that's just one of those things. You weren't thinking straight, Alex. You weren't. People that are thinking straight don't do these kind of things. They talk themselves out of it. They go have a beer. They talk with their friends. They go for a drive. They cool off. They realize, these things that I'm stewing about are not that big a deal. Whether my sister votes Democrat or my parents always take her side or whatever.
Where'd you go come with that?
Or life's not a success.
My sister voted Democrat, so
I can figure out a way
man.
to to work themselves through. Okay? That's why I don't think you were really thinking that straight when you came up with that story and things like that, or when you called us. And you know why we think you did it. Okay, we've explained it to you like 10 times here and earlier today.
Well, I don't know what else you want from me then.
Well, Alex, are you ashamed? Is that why you don't want to tell us?
Well, I don't want to tell you because I didn't do it.
Well, you don't want to, no, you did do it, but there's a reason why you don't want to tell us.
Yeah, seriously.
Is it because you're scared of what's going to happen if you tell us? I mean, these are things we can talk through with you. Because your
think he's
family's
about to
dead
lawyer
at this
up.
point. You don't have anyone to talk about this with. I mean, you realize this, right?
Who's the disciplinarian in your house, Alex? If you get in trouble, who's the disciplinarian?
Either parent?
My parents, my mom.
So either parent?
People we talk to seem to think it's mom.
Sister was a year younger.
Good deal.
She was 19.
And you know that it probably is too. And not probably, you probably complained to them about it. Or they probably seen her do it to you.
Well, parents discipline me if I act out of line or something. Are you sure you really talk to my friends then?
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you'd know that I am delayed in playing games with my friends like every night.
I didn't say you were delayed, and I didn't say you didn't get punished.
Because at the movie time, or whatever.
Because of family movie time?
Yeah.
Why don't you watch the whole movie? Why'd you want to watch a little bit of it?
Because we just do like an hour a night. Pretty much.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah. It's family time, so.
Yeah.
Well, so?
Well, Mom could force me to sit and watch a movie for an hour every night too, and after a while I might resent her for it because I want to hang out and video game with my friends. Doesn't mean I would enjoy it.
Well, I enjoy it. It was a good movie, yeah.
You guys do puzzles together?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Or play hide and seek.
Games like Life and
Yeah.
card games.
Were you helping put together that puzzle downstairs?
That's my sister's thing. She makes puzzles.
Yeah. You never did them with her?
No, I'm not really a puzzle guy.
Isabel, what are you getting at? Could they object because you don't see them clearly
We
talk?
heard you butt heads on politics quite a bit over there.
Like you can't see his mouth move
Well,
type
that's
thing?
just how it is.
Do you butt heads with all three of them on it?
Well, all of them think differently, so.
And you or each other?
Oh, everyone thinks differently. That's just how
Did it upset you that the three of them, you were kind of the odd man out on things?
Well, not necessarily.
That didn't bother you?
I wasn't always the odd man out.
Did you ever tell people you were?
I was the odd man out.
Yeah, that bothered you.
Not really. I guess I talk politics with some of my friends.
Anything else about this that you want us to know that you think we should know that we don't already know from what we talked to you about?
Just a couple more minutes and we'll be done.
Not that I can really think of right now.
Because this is what's happening, Alex. I just remember earlier today we talked about what do you want to happen at the end of the day. you wouldn't go home, right? When you're not going to go home.
You're not going home. He's about to be
You're being
arrested.
charged with murder of your mom, your dad, and your sister. And you're going to go to jail. So, if you don't have anything else that you want to tell us, Matt and I are going to get up, and the officers are going to put you in handcuffs and take you over to the jail.
And you're going to get to use those
This
handcuffs.
is your last
Or those
opportunity to
crutches
speak
with
with
handcuffs.
us or to get your side of the story out
I want to see
before we finalize everything.
I want to see the crutches and handcuffs look.
Okay. And that's fair enough.
So there should be 3 counts of first-degree murder.
He didn't break. He wasn't perfect, but he didn't break.
Anything?
Nope.
Last chance. Nope. They tried to call his bluff, and he didn't fold. So we're done. So they could.
Your Honor?
Sorry.
Yeah, I would conclude the plan of State's Exhibit 153. There is approximately 8 minutes left on that exhibit. That the last 8 minutes consist of the charging information and them escorting the defendant out of the room. So at this time, we would conclude playing State's Exhibit 153.
But that additional information is on the exhibit.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's close enough to 3. We've been watching videos for a while.
We're going to take our mid-afternoon break, so ask that you be ready to go by 3:15, and I'd remind you of the admonition that I've given you previously.
Okay, so Isabel, I'm thinking about this. Your question. Someone could say that the audio was manipulated. That wasn't his voice. I mean, nowadays, especially thinking of technology that's available, you can see videos of somebody that's a deep fake. Oh man, look at that man bun. That is like the man bun for all man buns. So yeah, somebody could say that, but they have 2 officers in there who are going to swear and attest that this is true. The conversation would have to be a lot of faking going on, and they'd have to be involved in it. It seems bizarre, the behavior and everything. It's a big stretch for me. Yes, I think Hollywood could probably produce something like that. There's some people on YouTube who could probably produce, something funny that's not quite right. You think of like those lip sync, bad lip reading videos on YouTube, things like that. But I haven't seen that defense in any trial before. Are you stealing my? Careful with the plug. It's actually mine. All right. Any gun residue from the fire in this firearm, and they would have tested for it. Yes, Patty. They swabbed his hands. I'm not sure if it was just for DNA, if it was a GSR, a gunshot residue. But he's already admitted that in the struggle for the gun went off. Whether he was holding it or the other guy was holding it, his hands were there. The gun went off. It could have been him. So that evidence he has an alibi for, or at least he has an account, a record for how that would happen. Now, if the gun residue on his hands is if there's so much volume, I was trying to say voluminous. There's a word that has to do with volume, meaning there's a lot, and I can't pronounce it today. But if there's so much of this that, it would only be possible from firing the gun 10, 12, 14 times, however many times it is, that might be interesting for the jury to hear. But just the presence of gunshot residue, he can account for it based on his story. Let's switch here. Here we go. Think of it as commands you like to have in the heat of the moment. What commands do you want on a globe? Dope. We can create commands. I just don't want to create some that that cause too many distractions for the people who really want to hear the case. So if it's just a message in chat and a response that way, we might be able to do that, or sometimes very short audio. But I don't want to have,
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
something like that popping up in the middle of testimony. During the breaks, that's
I'm not a camel.
we can do all those that you want, but I haven't turned them on yet. So if you try, they're not going to work. Mass killer is still at large. That's an old one here. Sometimes I really do not understand what is going on with the rash of murders. It's bizarre, smiley faces. It's just, yes, that's the word. Voluminous. Richard, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I had to see it in type. Velociraptor, that's close, Ashley. That's what was going to come out had Richard not had typed that. The man bun is a look of guilt, throwing it out there. I would feel guilty having a man bun. I don't think that's a good look at all, personally. Yes, several of you got voluptuous. There's a nice one as well. Very similar. But that was my word. Adam says, Matthew says, close, Adam. Voluptuous is probably a little bit off. But let's see. Larry has the same hairdo. I want a command that says bite me. Bite me. You want your own command. I'm not sure if I can do your own command. I could restrict one to just the mods, but I'm not sure if I can do it on an individual level. We need objection. There's always another murder. Oh my goodness, the news this morning, that alone. Let's see. Vavoom. Voluminous is the name of my mascara. That means it adds volume, right? It builds and adds volume. I understand why that would work for mascara. Okay, no other real questions about the trial here. Hold me in contempt. You want that one? Bite me is still vouching for bite me. A verbose bunch. I like verbose. V words are generally good. Velociraptor is a good alternative in a pinch. That'll work. We need your line. What was it the female officer said? It's like, except it, he didn't. Except you didn't. Except you're lying. Something like that. We need that sound bite. Let's see. Gene, you're asking about the Virginia shooting, the 6-year-old shooting his first grade teacher. I don't believe that's going to go to trial. I don't believe, anything will really happen in the news. If anything does happen to that 6-year-old, I think it'll happen under the DCF system, Division of Child and Family Services. It'll be quiet for that reason. They generally don't publicize what they do. Who said voluptuous? I can't breathe, says Samantha Terry. Not quite voluptuous. Voluminous gift membership giving gets you an award too. Good job, Tish. Makeup is for clowns. Hey, I worked in the news media, Charlie, and I can tell you that when it came to makeup, some of the guys in the newsroom used a lot more makeup than the girls, and just to look good, just to look. They had this look that, when seeing them without makeup, was scary. But guys and gals in the news all the time, and we're not just talking, just a little bit of. Little touch-up type thing. It was layered on pretty thick, some of those guys. Impressive that Recovered Addict even knows what mascara is. My boyfriend couldn't figure out why I wasn't putting it on my eyebrows the other day. Yeah. No, it just goes on the eyelashes. It just goes on the eyelashes, and sometimes it can lengthen. It actually lengthens. It lengthens the. I wouldn't be able to put it on. I don't have steady enough hands to do the whole mascara brush, and it scares me, the idea of just having that brush, even though I know it's not. It's a soft bristle brush, soft little plastic bristles. It looks like a wire brush, and just sticking it right up next to your eye, it scares me. I don't like things in my eye. Ethan Crumley's parents are still in jail. There's a charge pending. I think it's at the Supreme Court, right? I think the state's going to be addressing this and saying whether or not they can proceed with this or not. Roxanne, why are you giving me big words to say? Trichotillomania? That's my best guess, Roxanne. That's as close as I can come to pronouncing that one. Allegedly, from Kilkenny, allegedly, that would be a good soundbite. Someone send me the link to allegedly on the burner phone, and I'll listen to it. It has to be perfect to use. I'm very picky. So no eyelash curlers. Law Erie 2B. As a kid, I know my mom had the eyelash curlers. You know, they look like scissors on one end, but the other side has like this little claw blade, a little metal bar that pushes down into a little rubber pad. And the whole idea is to try to catch just your eyelash, not the eyelid, because that would be very painful, but just your eyelash in there and sort of like smash it and bend the eyelashes up. Is that what you're talking about, eyelash curlers? Still hurts if you get it in the eye. Yeah, and then rubbing it just makes it your whole eye black. So Crumbley's parents did try to run. They had burner phones and everything, I think. My son can't use contacts because his hand shakes real bad. There's got to be a device you can use to put contacts in. For those of us that just, you know, the thought of touching our eyeball with our hand makes our hand shake. You guys are just putting big words in chat to try to trip me up right now. I think that's what's happening. You guys are finding excuses to try to get me to say quesadilla? Quesadilla? Is this a D or a T? I thought it was quesadilla mania. Not sure. Take a look at the courtroom here. Still nothing happening. Beautiful clock, though. Beautiful clock. Courtney says, I'm late this afternoon, but can I have an excuse note? We'll need to know the reason, and you'll have to say it in front of the whole class. Target acquired. I have found the SMB pickles. They are currently getting cold in the fridge. Wonderful, Courtney. If that's the reason, you are excused. Thanks for showing up late. You can just copy off somebody and get the homework. Why are we talking about mascara? I don't know, High Speed Drifter. I don't know where we got on that. I think it had to do with, there was like a word I was saying, voluminous, I think was the word, and it was the brand of mascara that several people use. And then it was squirrel, and we followed that rabbit as far as it ran. The user Mark J bought the internet for 10 minutes and searched botulism. The user. You put armadillo in your quesadillas. Armadillo in your quesadillas. You're just messing me up. I know what an armadillo is, but I don't know what an armadillo is. Voluptuous is how we got here. Eyelash curlers scare me. You and me both. Except that's not what happened. Is that what she said, Bite Me? Is that what the female investigator said? He's like, I already told you the story, and there was this guy. Except that's not what happened. I'll have to go back and try to find that one. Dilly says, I used my eyelash curler this morning. The thing that scares me is how brazen the people that use these torture devices on their eyes are. They just, like, it goes right up to their eye and boom, they're done. It's like you could have amputated an eyelid with that thing. Super dangerous. Roxanne says, close. I didn't mean to. It means when I'm stressed, I pull out my hair. My eyelashes are the first to go after that. I do it without realizing I'm doing it. I like to think that that's why I'm doing it, and that's why I'm getting thin up top as I pull it out. But it seems to be happening on its own. Rhonda says, once I got in the car with my BFF, she was all dolled up. She said, well, I curled my eyelids. Well, I think of that every time I curl mine. Okay, Rhonda, as a kid, this might gross some of you out, but as a kid, I would do that. I would hold my eyelashes, my top eyelashes. I'd sort of pull them out a little bit, and then I would blink really hard, and it would flip my eyelids sort of up. It sort of rolls them up, and it looks awful. But I would do that. So I can roll my eyelids, but I wouldn't use a crimper to do it. Love the fancy clock. It does look really good. I wonder if they'll sell it if we make them a good offer. The cornucopia on the clock are a lovely touch. And that's probably all hand-tooled, too. I mean, I don't know the age of the courtroom, but that's probably all hand-worked and carved. Most likely in wood. Looks like wood. All the weird trials seem to have moved to spring. Want to watch Sarah Boone explain her way out of this one. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Courtney just sent me something on the burner phone. Let me just check and see what that was. Sent an image of the pickles. Okay, you're excused. You have the proper spicy maple bourbon pickles. Throw them in the fridge, get them cool, and let me know what you think. I know an Aussie that pronounces quesadillas as quesadillos. Yeah, that's wrong, DMB. They're wrong. That's not one of any of the acceptable pronunciations. RA was that one kid. Yes, it is totally gross. It is. I told you. I did it as a kid. I wouldn't do it now because I'm afraid they get stuck that way. You know, like your mom says, you know, stick your tongue out, it's going to get stuck like that. Yeah, you know, I think that's what happened with my eyelids. You may want to consider the context of the letter Kenny, allegedly. I absolutely love that show, but that particular joke may not be in line with your brand. I can laughter. I don't know the context, so if it's not in... If it's in the middle of a very off-color or crude or, you know, racist or something joke, I'm not going to use that. I try not to pull clips from that sort of material. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. Stop distracting me from walking boot shopping anyway. Stop distracting me from walking boot shopping anyway. Where's the comma in there? I don't know. From walking boot? Are you walking boot shopping? Or stop distracting me from walking your boot shopping anyway? I don't know which one that was, Ashley. MB, thank you. Thank you. I have some support here. Somebody who's done that and knows what it's like. Nana Joe says, recovery addict, what's your background? Did he work in law enforcement? This actually is a courtroom. No, just kidding. I know what you're talking about. My background, most recently I had a top secret SCI clearance with the Department of Defense and worked in IT. But before then, I've been very interested in law enforcement. I've been very interested in courts. I've been very interested in the law, following either from a political side on the making of the laws or the law enforcement side on the enforcement. I've worked in news media. I've run cameras for that. I've filmed for cops. I've been through Citizens Police Academy. I've done a lot of close work on emergencies and disasters with police officers, but I'm not a lawyer. I just like to follow law. I'm a law nerd. I like to follow law and talk about it on YouTube. We have, for actual lawyers, the really lawyer stuff we need, we have some great friends here in chat like Matthew Harris, who is down there in Texas, who is a lawyer and gives great analysis on the legal matters that arise in our discussions. But that's my background. I've got a million things I've done, Nana Joe. Ask me more questions. Or Nano Joe, sorry. I didn't mean to call you Nana. Nano Joe, ask me some questions. I've probably done it. Everything from working in a greenhouse, McDonald's, burying fuel spills so the EPA doesn't find them, and then reporting it to the EPA as soon as we were done. I've done lots of things. I've tipped off law enforcement for drug busts. I've done... you name it, found stolen cars, broken into people's houses and found them dead. I've got some stories to tell, but I found a bomb even, and that was fun. Let's see, I don't know how we got there. Oh, sorry, Nano Joe. You asked. That's why we got there. I don't like pickles, but I just added them to my delivery order for tomorrow. You should get a commission. Golden Girl, I've reached out to Walmart already and said, look, the reason why these pickles are flying off the shelves is me. So please send me free pickles. But they have not responded. I don't think they will. Humans survived for hundreds of thousands of years without makeup, says Charlie. Charlie, I think you'd be surprised how far back it was used. And I believe when it was first used, the men were the ones who started using it. I've stabbed myself with a mascara wand. Still alive, so we're good. That could be fatal. Those things look vicious. my employer actually had training on distracted walking. I've seen some great security camera footage of that, of people who are like on the phone in the mall walking along and tripping and falling into like the water fountain. I'm looking on Amazon for new walking boots. All right, Ashley. Hopefully you find some fantastic ones. As far as walking, you say walking boots. So are you doing like terrain stuff? Or are you looking for, say, Merrells? Merrells are some nice boots. I really enjoyed those. They're more hiking boots, but it was good. Debbie got a long nap during the movie. Glad somebody got some rest there. The judge made us stand up and stretch in the middle of it. Ivan says, why is the recovery addict ignoring... Oh, sorry. I shouldn't read that one. Just kidding. Why is he ignoring me? Just kidding, bud. Know you're swamped. Glad to be here. Ivan, sorry, I did miss your chat. Once the case wraps up, I had to send police. Sorry, hot mic.
Good. Okay. I always hesitate to ask about issues, but unless you determine there is one. But yeah.
Boosting the sound. Enhance audio.
No, I'm good. Thanks, though.
Okay. That's all I can do as far as enhancing.
That video tray open. You're not planning on using it, are you? Good.
The judge is like, you better not be playing any more videos.
Yep.
Okay. It looks like we're about to start, so if anyone has a question. And I say to Holiday Express, yes, I did. I actually like Holiday Express, Holiday Inn Express, because they have those cinnamon rolls in the morning. I can eat more than a tray's worth of those myself, which I don't think that's what they had in mind when they thought about free cinnamon rolls in the morning.
Go ahead and have a seat, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, here we go. Back to work.
Okay, we're back on the record. We have our jurors, counsel, Mr. Jackson, all present, and Investigator Denlinger is still at the witness stand. And Investigator Denlinger, I would just remind you, sir, that you are still under oath. And with that, I believe we're done with videos for a while. And Mr. Scheer, you may resume your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Haven't seen Ray Epps.
Investigator Denlinger, we saw quite a bit of information in the last almost 5 hours of videos that was played. So I want to kind of talk a bit about some of that, okay?
Okay.
First off, as an investigator, are you developed or given ways to develop techniques or skills on how to conduct investigations?
Yes.
And where do you get those skills or that knowledge to do those types of investigations or interviews?
I received the majority of that through on-the-job training and through an interview and interrogation classes that I've attended.
Her cases are online
and you stated yesterday
and televised.
That prior to being
iDrop trials
involved
coming up too.
In
That's one of
investigations
hers.
against crimes against people, that you had been involved with narcotics investigations. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And so, is it safe to say that you're very familiar with narcotics?
Yes.
And drugs?
Correct.
And how they can affect individuals?
Yes.
Because once again, how many years of experience did you have with narcotics investigation?
I think it was between 8 and 9 years of work in the investigative or in the narcotics unit.
And so I imagine similar as you've had training and other conferences or seminars you've gone with crimes against individuals, did you do that with crimes with narcotics?
Yes.
And can you just kind of explain some of those general conferences or seminars that you attended?
Well, a lot of the conferences and stuff would be, narcotics investigative techniques, things like that, updates on what drugs are being used, street drugs and things like that. And then just throughout that time, I had opportunity to interview hundreds of people, some of them on drugs, some of them, addicts, some of them, sober. So I've just had a lot of experience dealing with drugs, how drugs are.
Ivan, we need this video.
Different types of drugs typically do to people, things like that. So it's like firsthand experience.
And are you familiar with the drug fentanyl?
I am.
What is fentanyl?
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. It's similar to morphine. It was designed as an
Did you say
alternate
morphine?
Painkiller.
Or morphine?
And are you aware of any side effects an individual could experience when they are given fentanyl or take fentanyl?
I mean, there's a
Your
lot
Honor,
of...
I would like to object at this point, and may I voir dire the witness?
You may.
I like these voir dires.
Good afternoon, investigator.
Good afternoon.
You're not a medical doctor, are you?
No.
Any medical training at all?
That would be awesome.
First aid, CPR, stuff like that.
Sure. But you have not administered fentanyl to people as an anesthetic in a hospital setting, have you?
No, I have not.
And what you're about to testify to is what you've observed on the street or whatever with fentanyl as in the drug of abuse, correct?
Not necessarily. Some of my experiences, yes, interviewing people or being aware of the effects of fentanyl, but also some of it is just reading about it, so I have a better understanding of it.
So you've read about fentanyl?
Correct.
But you don't have any sort of medical degrees?
That's correct.
And do you know how much fentanyl Mr. Jackson was given at the hospital?
At the hospital, no, I don't recall exactly how much he was given.
And do you know how much fentanyl he was given in the ambulance on the way there?
No, I'd have to review the thing. I believe he was given one dose of it, so 100.
100 what?
Milligrams, I believe. I don't actually know.
Okay. So, Your Honor, I would like to object to this line of questioning as it has nothing to do with fentanyl as an anesthetic administered in a hospital and would confuse the jury.
See if he wins this
At this point,
one.
the objection is sustained.
Yep. Good. I think he's got a good point there. Great work on the defense.
When you speak to individuals, is it important to make a determination if they seem to understand what you're asking them?
It is.
Why is that important?
Well, you just want to make sure that they can be interviewed, so make sure they can follow or track a line of questioning. So a lot of times during an interview, the beginning of the interview,
I'm going to pause
is
this just for a
really
second.
basic background
Give me just
stuff.
1 second.
We make sure that people can speak clearly, that you can understand them.
I'm going to pause this just for a second. This question from Nem's girl, who was questioning him, this gets confusing sometimes because the camera is not moving. This is a state's witness who's being questioned by the state. But when there was an interruption with an objection saying, can I voir dire him? They're saying, hey, stop. Before you proceed in this line of questioning, we want to ask him questions to see if he's really qualified to give the answers he's about to give, to give the testimony you're going to elicit from him. So in that brief moment, the defense is questioning him in the middle of the state's questioning. So that's why it happened that way. So we had prosecution, then defense saying, hey, you didn't really know about this. You're not experienced. The judge says, you're right. We're not going to allow the line of questioning. Now it goes back to the prosecution.
I asked a lot of questions at the beginning of interviews about, do you drink? Do you use drugs? Do you use those things? That's not going to prevent the interview, but it just gives me a better understanding of why questions may be answered the way they are.
Any concerns about your interview that you conducted with Alex Jackson about him not understanding what you're asking him?
No, I mean, that was a fairly lengthy interview, and at the beginning of the interview and at the end of the interview, he seemed to be tracking quite well and answering and seemed to understand what was going on.
And part of this investigation is that you subpoenaed medical records for Alex Jackson. Do you recall how much he weighed back on June 15th of 2021?
I believe he weighed 320 pounds.
It's a big kid.
And do you see Alex Jackson in the courtroom today?
I do.
He's half the man he used to
Point
be.
to that person and describe the color shirt and suit jacket that person is wearing?
Alex is wearing a
And underwear.
dark-colored suit coat and a white and black striped shirt, button-up shirt.
Thank you. Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant?
The record so reflects.
This is still the investigator. This is the guy that interviewed him in the hospital and at the police station.
There was a lot of topics that were talked about in this interview. One of them was about the defendant having a job or getting a job. Do you recall those discussions?
Yes.
And you talked to the defendant about if he had a job and if he was supposed to get a job. You remember those discussions?
Yes.
And what was your understanding or the defendant's response about if he was supposed to have a job?
He basically said that his father's expectation was that he needed to get a job.
And what did the defendant state about if he did not get a job, what would have happened?
He was potentially going to have to move out.
And then you also talked about
here.
the defendant's attending college. Do you recall that?
Yes.
That he attended the University of Iowa?
Yes.
And you guys talked about his first 2 years of college. Do you remember that?
I do.
And that you guys talked about grades and how well he was doing?
Hey, Sharon, welcome. Good to have you
Through
here.
this investigation, did you also get a copy of the defendant's transcript?
I did.
And what information did
Thanks,
you see?
T-Rox. You're doing a great
between
job
the
today.
first year of the defendant attending University of Iowa to his second year?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
Your Honor doesn't call for hearsay. It's not for the truth of the matter, but it's also not out-of-court statements. It's observations.
What's the question again?
In addition, those statements were obtained from business records from the university.
That's
And
still.
I'm sorry.
That would be hearsay, right?
At this point, the
Sustained.
objection is sustained.
Yep.
Well, what did the defendant tell you about his grades?
He said they weren't going well.
And how did he say that they were compared to his first semester?
He talked about a decline, basically.
And did he state if he was still enrolled at the University of Iowa?
She is grading papers. This
I
is
don't
no
recall
joke.
his exact words.
The light lady back there.
Regarding whether
She's
or not
like
he was still enrolled.
getting some grading done. Got a red pen out.
And then he talked about this .22 rifle, about how it was being cleaned the day before with his father. Do you remember that discussion?
Yes.
And do you remember what he had told you or said what they were doing with this .22 rifle?
He said they had gotten the rifle out to clean it because the last time they had used it, it had been jamming up, and they were going to go use it in the future.
I think it's more that he was going to
So
get kicked
meaning
out
they
because he
wanted to
wasn't getting a
prevent the gun
job,
from jamming.
failing out
Correct.
of school type thing.
And also, did you hear the discussion that the defendant had with Officer Tim Brown?
I did.
And there was a discussion talking about Hero the dog.
Yes,
If the dog was an indoor or an outdoor dog. You remember that?
I do.
And do you remember what the indication of what type of dog Hero was?
He was an indoor dog.
There was this lengthy discussion about the defendant sleeping on the porch and being woken up by multiple gunshots. Do you remember that?
I do.
And do you remember how many shots the defendant said he heard when he woke up and then left the porch area?
10.
Seen in States Exhibit 61 through 116.
Ivan, thanks for being
are
here.
The crime scene photos.
Appreciate you, man.
From
Can't wait for that video.
4414 Oakleaf Court. In those photos, they show the shell casings of the .22 throughout the house.
Yes,
Do you remember how many
that's
shell
nostril
casings were
breath you're
found
hearing.
downstairs in the basement area?
I believe there were 9.
And do you remember where there was a large group of shell casings found?
They were behind the sectional sofa, so it would be on the south side of the family room.
And so, if there are 9 empty shell casings in the basement, then how many shots were fired in the basement?
9.
Advanced
Going
math there.
upstairs into the master bedroom, there was also photographs that showed multiple shell casings in that area. Do you remember how many shell casings were found in the bedroom that had Melissa Jackson?
I believe there were 5.
And
Okay,
do
so
you
we're up to
remember
14 bullets now.
exactly how those shell casings were positioned?
Well, I remember several of them were right next to Melissa's body, which was on the floor, and they were in a kind of a tight group there. There may have been some a little closer to the doorway that I recall.
So, if there were 5 empty shell casings upstairs in the master bedroom, what would that indicate?
There were 5 shots.
So help me with the math here. If there was 9
Might
shell
have to
casings,
pause the
9
video and do the
shots
math.
in the basement, plus 5 more shots upstairs, then when would the 10th shot have occurred?
Upstairs, it would have occurred in Melissa's bedroom.
And so the defendant stated that he left the porch after hearing 10 shots. Is that your understanding?
Correct.
And where again did the defendant say that he made contact with this alleged intruder?
Down in the basement near his father towards the bottom of the stairs.
And we've seen kind of photographs, but have you been at the residence at 4414?
I have.
Just approximately how close is the master bedroom to get down to the basement area?
Thank you, DMB.
Well, it's right outside the doors, the stairs that go down to the basement.
As you leave the master bedroom, can you immediately get down to the basement?
Yeah, you don't have to go through any other rooms.
Meaning, do you have to walk anywhere from the master bedroom to get to the stairs to get to the basement?
That's a good question. I don't believe you do. I think you just walk right out the door and you can start walking downstairs.
And what about the porch?
The screened-in porch?
Yes.
That is back in the back of the house through the kitchen, so you would have to walk through the main floor. It's kind of on the other side of the house, basically, but it's off the kitchen in the back of the house.
Do you remember what time the defendant stated that he went to bed the night before the shooting?
Yeah, I think he estimated around 11 p.m.
Do you recall where he said he went to bed at?
He said he was sleeping on that screened-in porch.
And once again, he stated that he was woken up to gunshots. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he said that multiple times.
And that he eventually made his way and encountered an alleged intruder down in the basement. Do you remember him saying that?
I do.
And that he was shot in the foot and then eventually crawled to his bedroom to call 911. Do you remember that story that he told you?
I do.
Do you know what time that 911 call went out?
8:21 a.m.
And once again, why did the defendant go to his bedroom?
To get his phone.
I think the interview speaks for itself and would be the best evidence of that.
Overruled, the witness can answer.
Once again, why did the defendant go to his bedroom?
He reported he was going to get his phone.
And at what time was that to call 911 again?
It would have been 8:21 was the 911 call.
And do you recall what the defendant said, how soon he made that 911 call after his encounter with the intruder?
Right away.
And once again, where was the defendant sleeping?
On the screened-in porch, on the upper level, off the kitchen.
How far is the screened-in porch from the defendant's bedroom?
Well, the screened-in porch is actually above, the general area of his bedroom, so you'd have to go through most of the house, down the stairs, and then, no, I take that back, it's not quite above it, but it's on the opposite side of the house on the lower level from that screened-in porch.
And did you examine the defendant's phone?
I didn't forensically examine it, but I examined the data that was removed from it by Investigator Holst.
I don't think they've.
When that data was provided
they could do
from
that
the
here.
defendant's home, what was
It's a
discovered
little
on
late.
it?
We discovered some activity on the phone that didn't correspond with the times that he claimed to have been sleeping.
Specifically, what time did you find
AJ,
activity?
get back to work.
So in between 6 and 7 o'clock, there were several things on his phone. There was, maybe around 6:25, there was some activity on an app I believe it's called iFunny, which is just some short little videos. Around 6:53, I believe there's another documented activity, which is, someone Googling who played the Emperor and Empire Strikes Back or something similar to that.
So you found activity on a phone
that was where the defendant stated it was in his bedroom.
Just to show you that
Correct?
breathing is not me.
That's correct.
Watch.
Even though the defendant told you he was sleeping on the porch.
Right.
A porch that did not have a phone from what the defendant told you.
Calls for speculation as argumentative.
The objections are overruled. You can answer the question.
He told me the phone was in his bedroom.
I know. It stopped when I moved the mic. I promise it's not
When
me.
dealing with cases such as homicides, is it important to see if you can find DNA?
Yes,
Are you familiar with what DNA is?
I am.
In fact, I think you've stated that you also work cold cases.
I do.
And is DNA important with helping you to crack open those cold cases?
Yeah, it's been useful in the past.
Have you used DNA to solve cold cases?
I have.
And just, I know you're not a DNA expert, and I'm not asking how it's tested or developed, but just to you, what is DNA?
Well, DNA is like a genetic fingerprint. Is kind of the short answer of it. It's contained in every cell of your body.
And in your experience of dealing with, strike that, how many homicides have you investigated?
That's a good question. I haven't done the math, but I would say that I've been part of or
More
led
than one?
investigations more than 100.
And how many cold cases have you worked on?
Cold cases, far fewer, maybe. I think my unit's probably worked on like 8 of them.
Have you ever heard of touch DNA?
Yeah, I'm familiar with touch DNA.
What is it?
Touch DNA would be if the notion that if I touched the desk here, the dead skin cells would fall off, and then I would be leaving DNA everywhere I go. It's a popular, thing to talk about. Everyone thinks that touch DNA is everywhere, but in my experience, that's not the case.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
In my experience, that's not the case.
How so in your experience?
Well, I mean, I've sent lots of things to the lab to have them processed. Almost always, you have a successful return when you collect saliva, semen, blood. Almost 100% of the time, you'll get a full profile that you can compare one-to-one. When items are swabbed and there's no wet, bodily fluid there, we almost never get any DNA.
Yes, this is
That
live
would
smiling
include,
faces.
Basically everything. So although it's technically possible, in my experience, there's almost never touch DNA on things that we send to the lab.
Is it important to try to do a thorough examination of trying to locate areas that could possibly have DNA?
Yes.
I think
And, for
Little Miss has a
example,
dog that
if a case deals with a firearm
it's very energetic.
used, is it important to swab this firearm to look for DNA?
Yes.
Where are the most important areas to swab and look for DNA on a firearm?
Well, the most important places where your hands would naturally be. So the trigger
Rowdy,
guard,
it's not me,
the
I
buttstock,
promise.
or the grip, I guess, if it were a handgun.
And if you actually can find the firearm that is used in an incident, do you do that?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, it's kind of a poor wordy question. So in a case where you find the firearm that is used in that particular case, is it important to swab that firearm around those areas?
Yes.
They're called plosives.
And in this case,
when you've got a
was that
hard
done
P
so
or a
on that
C or a K
Browning
or T.
22 rifle?
Yes, it was.
They're plosives.
I
in
want to
audio.
draw your attention to
My mic has a
State's
pop
Exhibit
filter that prevents that.
152. It's in that white binder that's in front of you that's already been admitted into evidence. So, Investigator Denlinger, when you get a chance, just let me know when you're at State's Exhibit 152.
This prosecutor seems to talk down to the witness just a little bit.
I'm there.
can be.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to publish
You're part of them.
State's Exhibit 152 for the jury.
All right, you may.
Okay, not sure where we're going here. Light lady's doing her job. Let's see where this goes.
Investigator Bosenberger, I kind of want to go over State's Exhibit 150, Investigator Denlinger, I want to go over State's Exhibit 152
nice to get the name right.
with you. We've kind of talked about this with other witnesses earlier. But when looking at State's Exhibit
That's exactly
152,
right,
just
Daisy,
focusing on
congratulations.
what
Thanks for
was
becoming a member.
swabbed dealing with
Welcome.
The
You can never leave now.
Can you tell me what swabs were taken and where they were taken from by this report?
Love it.
I can.
She knew just what to do. She took her seat
Please
immediately.
do so. Okay. Just one at a time. Tell me what lab number 1 indicates all the way through lab number 5.
Plosive spatter.
So lab number 1 would be a DNA swab taken from the corner of the ammo box. Lab number 2 would be DNA swabs taken from the trigger area of the .22 rifle. Number 3, DNA swabs from the breech block of the .22 rifle. Number 4, DNA swabs from the loading port of the .22 rifle. And number 5, DNA swabs from the magazine tube of the .22 rifle.
I see gray
And
cargo shorts are on there as well.
Why are those
There's a polo
the
shirt.
specific
So we'll get some
areas that are swabbed
tests from his
to
clothes
see
as well.
if there's DNA?
Those would be swabbed because those are common areas that someone would need to touch to operate the firearm.
And so anywhere a firearm is used, this would be the most likely spot where DNA would be located.
Correct.
I want to go to page 2 of this document of State's Exhibit 152. And it does look like that there were some DNA profiles or potential information to develop DNA profiles of the defendants, Jan Jackson, Melissa Jackson, and Sabrina Jackson. When looking at the results of the examination portion
Joe.
of this report, can you tell me what those results are for number 8 and 9 through 11?
Number 8 was a DNA profile was developed from the known buccal swab of Alexander Jackson. And number 9 through 11 is labeled DNA profiles were developed from the known buccal swabs of Jan Jackson, Melissa Jackson, and Sabrina Jackson.
Investigator Denlinger, are you familiar with looking at DCI reports?
Yes.
Especially reports dealing with DNA,
Yes.
such as a report like this?
Yes.
Have you seen reports like this multiple times throughout your career?
I have.
And when it says a DNA profile was developed
Yes,
from
the
the
dad
known
is Jan.
buccal swab of Alexander Jackson, what does that mean?
So the buccal swabs were collected. Buccal swab is nothing more than basically a Q-tip. You rub it inside the mouth, inside the cheeks, and so we took them directly from Mr. Jackson, and those are the known buccal swabs, kind of like a known print. We know exactly where they came from. So they developed a profile from his known buccal swabs, and they used that profile to compare it to evidence. In regards to the other parties, they used blood, but it would be the same process.
And like that, similar for 9, 10, and 11, where it says DNA profiles were developed from the known blood samples of Jan Jackson, Melissa Jackson,
Yes,
and
the
Sabrina Jackson.
defendant has a
what
man
would that
bun.
mean then?
The same thing. They developed those profiles.
The witness is bald.
So they have something to compare evidence to.
And so, looking further on the results of the examination, what are the results for the DNA swabs that were taken from the corners of the ammunition box?
The mom's name is Melissa Jackson. The sister was
let's see here.
Sabrina Jackson.
No DNA profile was
Micah.
developed from the swabs on the corner of the ammunition box.
And with regards to this ammunition box, is this the same box that the defendant told you that he was handling the day before this incident?
Yes.
Daisy. It's awesome.
Were you surprised that there was no DNA located?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Well, again, it would, without any, bodily fluids on the box, we're talking about touch DNA, and as we've already covered, we don't ever get touch DNA.
And I want to
You
go
don't
next
ever?
to the result of number 3, which is the DNA swab that was taken from the breech block of the Browning 22 rifle. What were the results there?
Number 3, no DNA profile was developed from the swabs on the breech block.
And then looking at the result of number 4, which was the swab taken from the loading port of the Browning 22 rifle, what was the result there?
No DNA profile was developed from the swabs from the loading port.
I then want to look at the result of number 2, which was the swab taken from the trigger area of the Browning 22 rifle. What was that result?
The DNA factors detected from the swabs from the trigger area of 22 rifle were too weak for conclusive interpretation.
Have you seen that before in your experience dealing with these type of reports?
Yes.
And in your experience when you're dealing with these type of reports and that comes back, what does that mean?
That means they found some DNA. They can tell that there's DNA there. It's just too weak to compare to any one individual because it's just not.
Kayla, I'm sorry you got some bad news. Hang out with us if it
And
helps.
when it has a report like this, is this an indication if it is a single person or is there multiple people that could be on this result?
This would be a single person.
What do you see if there are multiple results of DNA found?
So if there were multiple, they would say there's a mixture of DNA, and then they would list the number of individuals, and then they would say, if it's a long enough profile or if it's too weak for comparison. Sometimes multiple can also be too weak.
And then lastly, looking at the result of number 5, where it says the swab from the magazine tube of the Browning 22 rifle, what was that result?
The DNA factors detected from the swabs from the magazine tube of the 22 rifle were too weak for conclusive interpretation.
So this is all
and kind of going back
possibly
to
good
the
for defense.
trigger area of the Browning 22 rifle, do you recall if there were actual fingerprints or palm prints found on that area?
Yes, there were.
And whose fingerprints and palm prints were on the trigger area of this rifle?
Alex.
There's an objection. He's not the one who gathered
The
this.
objection's overruled. You can answer the question.
Those prints belong to Alex Jackson.
In a case where there is some type of struggle or fighting between two individuals, is it important to get clothing, if you can, from either one of those individuals?
Yes.
Is it important to try to swab that clothing to see if you can find the other individual's DNA?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes.
I want to go back to page 1 of State's Exhibit 152. Can you tell me what lab number item 6 is?
Item number 6 is gray cargo shorts.
Can you tell me what lab number item 7 is?
A red polo shirt.
Who does the gray cargo shorts belong to?
Alex Jackson.
Who does, strike that. Who owns the red polo shirt that was provided?
Alex Jackson.
And once again, let's go back on page 2 of State's Exhibit 152. When looking at the results of examination number 6, which is the gray cargo shorts, was DNA testing attempted on those shorts?
Yes, it was.
And when you look at that report, was DNA located on those shorts?
Yes, it was.
And it states that DNA testing was attempted on cutting of 10 areas. Have you seen that before?
Have I seen?
that type of description in these reports before?
Yes, I have.
And what does that mean exactly?
So what they will do is they'll take a physical little cutting of the material where they observe blood and process that little piece of fabric or whatever for DNA.
And when looking at the results
Light lady has
of the
deemed that
DNA
we
that
can't
was
sit in the
found
light right
on
now.
the shorts, whose DNA came back?
So on all 10 of those areas, it matched Alex Jackson.
Was there
he only had his
ever
own blood.
any other DNA located, according to this report, on those shorts?
No.
And lastly, sticking with State's Exhibit 152, looking at result number 7, what was tested here?
The red polo shirt.
And it looks like
I
there
watched them
was
offline.
cutting on 2 areas. Was DNA found in these areas?
Yes, it was.
Whose DNA was found on this red polo shirt?
Alex Jackson.
And was there any other DNA located on this shirt?
No.
She can grade papers in the dark, which is impressive. Lights.
Investigator Denlinger, in your interview, you talked about this Ring doorbell at the Jackson residence, as well as other cameras on other houses in the neighborhood. Were you actually able to pull the clips from the Ring doorbells located at the Jackson home?
Yes.
And how many different cameras were there at the Jackson home?
There were 4.
Were you able to pull some type of footage from each one of these cameras?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
We're about to get another video.
You may.
It's going to be short because there was nothing on it. I don't know why the investigator is getting all emotional about this, but I guess he really loves his job.
Giving you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 154. Have you had a chance to review that USB drive?
I have.
And when reviewing that USB drive, does that contain clips from all 4 of the Ring doorbells taken from the Jackson home?
Yes.
Boost the audio here. It's so quiet.
Clips, not only including what happened on June 15th of 2021, but on other dates such as June 14th of 2021, June 12th of 2021, June 11th of 2021.
Correct.
And does that USB drive contain all of that information that you reviewed and saw of the Ring doorbells taken from the Jackson home?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I would ask that State's Exhibit 154 be admitted into evidence, and I ask to be able to publish some of these clips for the jury. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then at this time, State's Exhibit 154 is admitted. And are you ready, Mr. Scheer? Not yet, Your Honor. One second, please. All right, let me know when you're ready.
A little ASMR. Fill up the cup. It looks like he freshly shaved for court today. Or maybe even polished the head. I seriously wonder what else this lady does other than turn the lights on and off.
Also, Investigator Denlinger, when you located this information, what were you able to discover about the times listed for the Ring doorbells?
They're 5 hours off, so we had to do the math.
And do the Ring doorbells for each one provide kind of a database or a list of what doorbell clip it is and then what time it is?
Yes.
So for record purposes, the first device, which there are 4 on State's Exhibit 154, device folder is 27286333.
Why do we need to know
Clip
that
number
number?
is
I guess
2021
the other side needs to know.
dash 06 dash 15 time 11:47:18. Clip number 697398556.
Bingo. I was waiting for somebody to call it out. Bingo.
334880573.
Could you read that again?
When I said the
I missed
time,
that.
11:47:18, what is the actual time?
It'd be 6 o'clock or 6:47:18.
And how were you able to discover that the Ring doorbell was off by 5 hours?
Well, when they downloaded it, they're able to see that on the paperwork. It's got some sort of UTC number affiliated with it, and then you can also just pull up the video from the time that officers showed up and calculate that from the time the video actually says. So at 8:21, it's going to say, 5 hours fast, but that's a known time, and so it's easy to calculate that. Also, on clips that, as you're watching it, clips that maybe indicate they're in the middle of the night, but it's light out, so those are in the evening. Okay, and so everything that I watched matched up with that 5 hour calculation. So it's really easy just to quickly subtract 5 hours and know exactly what time that clip's from.
And so,
I think
for
they're
example,
going to.
you were able to take clips from Officer Buckles, Officer Brown, and Officer Barber and match their time on their body cam with times that you see them in the Ring doorbell.
Right, exactly.
Your Honor, if I may now publish the clip that I mentioned.
You don't want to repeat the full title?
If Kathy would like me, I can.
All right, you can go ahead.
Lights. Oh, there's the file name. Neighbor had no idea she was going to be featured on this video today. There she goes jogging by. Grass is very green there. Might actually need to be mowed, if you ask me. It looks a little tall. Neighbor's sprinklers are on. I see no activity on the property yet.
Just kind of stopping this clip.
Oh, right when it got good, too.
Where is this Ring doorbell camera set on the 4414 residence?
So this would be mounted just to the top, as you're standing in the street, it'd be the top right-hand corner of the garage door. This is one of those houses where the house is situated where it faces Oak Leaf Court, but the driveway faces the side street.
And using the Mouser, what street is this, when you leave the driveway, what street is this going from, I'm going to say on this exhibit, from right to left?
That's not Oak Leaf Court. I'll be honest with you. The second I mentioned the side street, I forgot the name of it. So you'd have to help me out on that.
Would it be Scarlet?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
And do you remember what the rest of it is?
Well, it's also a cul-de-sac, so it's Court.
And then the street that's going from the corner of the right area where that Scarlet Road is going, I'm going to say north, in the video. What street is that?
That's Oakley Court.
And then you kind of can see a pillar next to this recycle bin. What's that pillar of?
I think that's a tree, actually.
You're right. I think it is a tree. Thank you.
Oh,
What's
good
that tree
catch.
next to?
You passed the
That
test.
tree is next to the screened-in porch.
Okay.
So the porch is not visible. Let's watch to see if the bird flies through.
Mr. Shear, were you done with that clip? Are you done with that clip? All right.
So you showed it to us for no reason. There was nothing that happened other than the neighbor is exercising. It's a wood pillar, natural wood pillar. What's the lady doing? Oh, it's Visine time. Eye drops. My neighbor's out mowing the lawn, which was strange because all the lawns are dead right now. Just don't drink them, seriously. I don't know why they didn't rename these files. They left them in the default name that the Ring database stores them in. And they stored videos from millions of different cameras, I guess, or probably hundreds of thousands. But, oh, shake it out, lady, shake it out. The pen's got a little more ink in it. We'll need another pen. Mulching leaves. There's no leaves. It's just dead grass out there right now. The wind blew everything away. We want to see the jogger again. We're going to go back and watch it again. Maybe in slow motion. I'll throw it on the slow-mo machine. I haven't done any slow-mo here for a while. My little devices need something to slow-mo. Hands cramping. She must have a lot of students. Guess the age of her class. Do you think she's elementary, junior, junior high school, maybe college? Think she's grading college papers? I think either way, it's probably multiple guess. She's checking the script. Possible she has contacts. Maybe she got ink in her eye from flipping that pen around. Definitely elementary. It seems to be like a multiple guess type test she's grading because she's flying through the questions quickly. Kindergarten, maybe? Apparently the baggage conveyor belt is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand back. I'm not sure what that alarm was for.
Investigators, you can see there's quite a bit of clips here. So the next one I want to show you that's simply labeled.
We've renamed it to be number 2.
39932017722.
This is not simply labeled.
8829. And the time that was designated on that is 12:16:41. What would be the actual time?
Is that in military time? I'm sorry.
That's just normal time.
Okay, so
doesn't
it'd be in the 700 hour. So what was the exact time again?
The time it has listed is 12:16:41 from June 15th of 2021.
Okay, so
7:16.
That would matter.
Just so we're clear, is this AM or PM we're talking about?
AM, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's why it would matter. We saw Stephen Lee yesterday.
You ready to play this?
I am, Your
He
Honor.
was here.
All right.
He's a busy man. He's got work to do. Police officer stuff. Neighbors pushing strollers. Oh, no, it's a dog. That's me doing a bird call in the background. Gripping video, that. Apparently they have 2 or 3 suspect neighbors that have all walked down this little road, are thus possible suspects. He has Deer Park water. Is he drinking Deer Park water? He's drinking even when he's off camera. You can hear him gulping. Can we get a squirrel?
I'm finished with that clip, Your Honor.
We're all finished with that clip. The light lady's going to have to go get him some more water at the rate he's drinking.
Your Honor, the next clip that we have is labeled 697-399-36-355-6398-5725, taken from June 15th of 2021. Investigator, the time that's designated, it says 12/18/21. Once again, what would be the actual real time?
7:18 a.m.
Your Honor, if I may, publish.
You may.
Guys, in the age of Internet of Things, where everything connects to the Internet, there's no excuse to have timestamps be wrong. Oh, and they're back. They're definitely casing the joint. This sound just plays naturally in the neighborhood. No one knows where it comes from.
Thank you, Your Honor, for that clip. Investigator, in that clip and the previous clip, we saw a couple with a couple dogs. Were you able to tell if that was the same individuals?
It looked like the same individuals.
Honestly, I wasn't
And
watching.
the last clip that I just want to play on
clip.
this device is clip number 697-413. Excuse me, 697.
You made a mistake. Start over.
4013-0874 70869-309. Taken from June 15th, 2021. Time listed is 13:33:50. Investigator, what would be the actual time there?
So that would be like 9 o'clock, basically 9.
So it would be later in the song. Is that what you're saying?
I said 13.
Oh, so
33.
8,
So what
8
would
o'clock.
5 minus 13 be?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble.
I'm sorry.
That's all right,
I'm struggling
investigator.
with math today.
1 o'clock, basically.
Yes, it's
Right.
basically the clock says it's 1:33.
The big hand
that'd be 8:33
is on
in the
the.
morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I?
This was funny.
You may.
Tons of activity. Ooh.
Just pausing it real quick, investigator. Who is the individual on this clip standing next to what appears to be a flower pot with some pink flowers on the right side?
I believe that's Officer Corey Barber.
And then there appears to be 2 officers coming across Scarlet, across the street from the 4414 residence. One has a K9 with him. Who's the officer with the K9?
Officer Curtis Buckles.
The big dog in the back porch. Yeah, and you'd be making shit loads.
Okay, I have to turn off the music in case they say something.
4414? Is that right? 4414 is supposed to be the house under drive.
Let it play out. Let it play out. The Ring doorbell didn't pick up the sounds of the gunshots because it's visually triggered.
And also that camera view. I want to now move to the next camera, which is labeled as device 7259439.
Rename your devices, people.
In the exhibit, it would be the second folder. The first camera view that I want to show you is from June 15th, 2021. It is labeled 697-401-320-777-52-61603. The time that it has listed would be 1:35 p.m. So once again, what would that be at real time?
8:33
Thank you.
a.m.
I'm going to try to time this right. Ready for this one?
Get off my lawn.
That's all I can play. Housekeeping.
I just rang the doorbell. The caller hear it?
Agent Ashley, I don't know when they were shot. They haven't covered that estimated time of death yet.
Investigator Denlinger, who was the officer that was seen in that video?
Officer Corey Barber.
And can you describe to us exactly where that Ring doorbell was located?
Yeah, that one's located right next to the front door, which is basically facing west.
The next video, same from June 15th, 2021, in the same view. I want to show you file number 697.
Okay, the cameras didn't pick up the gunshots because for them to record audio, they have to first detect video, something movement, actual movement. So if there's no movement on the camera, it's not recording audio either. This is the way that it saves space on the server because it only records things that happen in front of the camera.
What would be the actual time?
So there could be a very loud noise, but it would not be picked up.
You may.
I'm going to check the other side here once.
Investigator Denlinger, I'd like to go to the third folder, which would be the third camera view, which is labeled device 757-65637. The first clip I would like to show you is from June 14th, 2021, clip labeled 697-369-62-73-55-17-26-469. Time is 5:03:24 p.m. What would be the actual time of this clip?
It'd be 12:04.
He's doing the math on paper now. He's writing it down because he knows he's going to be asked. Amazon delivery. You've got mail.
Investigator Denlinger, when looking at this view, where my mouse is pointed, there appears to be a home in the right corner of the cul-de-sac. Who owns this home?
That's the Yang residence, and I don't recall their first name.
And where is this camera view located?
So they have a camera on the front of their house near their door also that basically faces back towards the Jackson residence and then captures quite a bit of that Scarlet Court.
And I think you were talking about where the Yanks camera is located. I'm asking where this Ring doorbell that we're seeing.
I'm sorry, thank you. This particular camera is located under the eave, and it would be, as you're facing the Jackson residence, it would be to the left of the front door a little ways.
I haven't seen the pictures, but we missed the first couple days of court. We were
And then
with
I want
the
to move
Jensen
to
case.
a next clip on this view,
So they might be out there.
which is labeled 697 401 351 2721 110917, taken from June 15th of 2021. The time would be 1:34:21 p.m. What would be the actual time?
It'd be 8:34.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
Thank you.
That was it.
We saw an officer briefly go by in that clip. Do you know which officer that was?
That's Officer Justin Kaczynski.
I bet she has no idea that she's actually on camera.
And I'd like to
Which is
go
sort of
to
funny.
the last camera view, which would be the fourth file or folder in this exhibit, which is device number 77195874. The first clip is labeled 6973798652548.
Watch him write down the time. Ready? He's ready with the pen.
6354, taken from June 14th of 2021 at approximately 11:29:46 p.m. So what would be the actual time?
6:29 p.m.
Your Honor, if I may?
Math is hard,
You don't need
guys.
to ask, for this exhibit anymore.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nice backyard. Oh, that was it. Sorry, guys. If you missed that, here we go. There it is again.
Investigator Denlinger,
That's the guy. That's him.
where is the camera view on this camera?
So this particular camera would be on the north and the east side of the residence. It's mounted on a balcony for the master bedroom, and it's sort of facing generally southeast. And that's Mr. Jackson, obviously walking from right to left in the view.
Which Mr. Jackson?
And when you say Mr. Jackson, are you talking about Alex Jackson?
Correct. That's Alex Jackson.
And are you talking about the individual with the red T-shirt that's seen in this video?
Yes.
And the last camera view or clip
We'll see you,
that I want
Shutterbug.
to play
Thanks for
from
being
this
here.
camera
It's
view
been fun today.
is
We'll see you
labeled
tomorrow.
6973796268981717428 taken from
briefly
June
saw Bigfoot
14th,
in that last clip.
2021. Time would be listed 11:31:26 p.m. What would be the actual time?
6:31 p.m.
This is the camera he didn't know about. Right? The one at the back door?
Is that it for clips, Mr. Scheer?
It is for this one, Your Honor.
Awesome. We'll see you then. Have a great day.
Investigator Denlinger, as we could see, once again, there are multiple clips and a lot of these different views. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so, when you looked at the camera that overlooked Scarlet and Oakleaf Court, which was listed as the first folder, device 27286333, were you able to find different clips from different days besides June 15th of 2021?
Yes.
Meaning it appeared to be working correctly, not just on June 15th, but on prior days.
Correct.
And when you reviewed all of those clips from that camera view, did you ever see an individual running from the Jackson's home?
No.
Did you ever see a person running wearing black clothing and green shoes?
No.
Did you ever see a person running going towards Oakleaf Court traveling on Scarlet Road?
No one matching that description, no.
So you never saw anybody that matched the description of this alleged intruder?
Correct.
Moving on to the second folder, second camera view, which was labeled as device 725943339, which was the camera that directly viewed the front door. Did that also show different clips from different dates besides June 15th of 2021?
Yes, it did.
And did you review all of those clips?
Yes, I did.
And when you reviewed all those clips, did that ever show an individual leaving the Jackson home wearing all black with green shoes?
No.
Dilly, the cameras were never turned off.
Running
they just
out
didn't
from
catch
the Jackson
anything
home,
happen, so nothing happened.
fleeing, that wasn't
The cameras were
either
functional.
Jan Jackson, Melissa Jackson, or Sabrina Jackson?
I did not.
I didn't know this, Christy. They
And then
didn't
looking
determine
at the
a time
third
of death.
camera view, which was slightly to the right of the front door camera view, which was in the third folder labeled device 757656637, were you able to grab multiple different dates that showed activity?
Yes.
And
Mrs.
when
Aziz back there
reviewing
is having her right
all
eye
of
really
those
bother her
files,
if you watch.
specifically the ones on June
Possibly
15th of
contacts.
2021, did that ever show anybody leaving the Jackson home wearing all black with green shoes?
No.
Did that ever show what appeared to be an intruder fleeing from the residence?
No.
And lastly, the last camera, which is from the backyard, which is the fourth folder, which is labeled device 77195874. Did you review all of its contacts?
I did.
And when you did that, besides the two clips that we played, which was from June 14th of 2021, were there ever any other clips that was pulled from that view?
No. There were only two clips.
So was there ever any clips that were pulled or found on June 15th of 2021?
No.
So you're able to find clips from the first one that overlooks Scarlet and Oak Leaf. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're able to find clips for multiple dates overlooking just the front door.
Correct.
And you're also able to find clips for multiple dates for the camera that's slightly to the right of the front door is what you're saying as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so the only one that you cannot, that there is no others except for the two that we saw here in court, is the back camera.
That's correct.
I want to just briefly show you some times from the Young's residents that are seen in State's Exhibit 6 from their Nest camera view.
And Mr. Shear, you'd like to publish these?
I would, Your Honor.
All right, and you don't need to ask. Number 6 already been admitted. You can just publish, just make clear for the record what it is you're publishing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Aziz.
I was hoping there were going to be shorter descriptions, but it does not appear so.
Well, you've had these for 2
These
years.
ones are actually a
They're
little
not going to
shorter, Your
change on their own. This is good evidence for the state. It really is.
First off, Investigator Denlinger, we have 5 clips shown on State's Exhibit number 6. Can you tell me what is designated by each one of these clips?
Mr. Shear, I think you said 6. Do you mean 5? Or all right, I'm sorry. I was confused. It says disc 5 at the top, so I confused myself.
Numbers are hard.
So, Investigator Denlinger, when the first clip we have 0400 to 0500, what's that mean?
That's 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
And are these all clips that were taken from June 15th of 2021?
Yes.
And so when we go down, we have 045-953 to 05-5953. What does that mean?
I have
Just another hour of clips,
another number.
or hour of video.
So does that basically mean 4:59 and 53 seconds a.m. to 5:59, 53 seconds a.m.?
Correct.
And so kind of as we continue on, this is basically we're going from 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to about 9.
Right. So basically you have...
That's a lot of hours of video.
4 o'clock a.m. till 9 o'clock a.m. covered on that camera, broke into 5 clips.
And so the first one I want to pull up is the clip from about 4 a.m. to the 5 a.m.
You've got mail.
And fast forwarding to 49 minutes and 7 seconds into the video, what would that then designate the time to be, Investigator Denlinger?
He's like,
Before 49.
I'm a police officer, not a mathematician. It's in black and white because the camera automatically switches between color and black and white as the sun
purpose of
comes up.
this
It'll
clip-
switch.
We saw some sprinklers go off in the Young's home. Do you see those?
I do.
Wasting
Next,
water.
moving to the time frame that's basically 5 a.m. to 6 a.m.
I believe this is the morning of the call.
Going about 17 minutes into the clip. About what time are we at now then?
Now you'd be at about approximately 5:17 in the morning.
There we go.
And pausing this, looking straight ahead on the Nest camera, you can kind of see in the very top center a brick house being circled by our cursor. Whose house is that?
That's the Jackson residence.
And once again, what is the street that's going directly in front of the Jackson's residence?
Oakleaf Court.
And I'm actually talking about the street that is being shown with the cursor.
Okay,
Scarlet
so
something.
That's
Scarlet.
Scarlet Court.
Thank you. And then moving on to
Your
the
Honor,
next.
I'm sorry, I think it's Scarlet Oak Court, Northeast, just for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to the next clip that's around 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Windows Media Player, huh? Drag it
Going
through.
about 17 minutes and 8 seconds into the video.
I like watching the shadows move.
What time are we at here?
It's about 7:17 in the morning.
kind of hard to see, but going to the top of the clip where our mouser is, directly to the right of a
Mouser.
tree, we see a couple. Can you make out that couple?
Yeah, that's the same couple that were walking their dogs that we saw in the previous clips from the Jackson residence.
So that's the same couple that we saw in the previous Ring doorbell clips, which saw that couple dog walking
That's
on
what he said.
the Scarlet.
Right.
Good. So now we can sync these two up. That helps us establish
And
that.
lastly, sticking with the clip, around 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., going about 28 minutes in,
Not seeing it. Oh, here, police. Here we go. We got a police response. Whoop.
did you hear that noise in the background?
Yes, I did.
What was that?
That was the squad car siren.
And if we had fast forward on this clip at about 32 minutes, what time are we at?
We're at 8:32 in the morning.
If I give you the "you got mail" command, you guys have to promise to only use it when you send something very important to the burner phone. Could we swear everyone to do that? Like it would only be used when it's urgent to get my attention. It would be like, this is like the red phone to my desk. You've got mail. AJ's like, sure. Yeah, I need everybody. We've got 354 people in here. I need all of you to agree to that before I can put that in. Pinky swear.
I know it's kind of difficult to see, but can you, in the corner, or not corner, the top portion approaching the Jackson home, there are individuals. Do you see those people?
Yeah, actually, there's 4 officers that are in view, but I see the 2 that you're referring to.
That was going to be my question. Do you know who those people were that were approaching the Jackson home?
Yeah, they're the same officers we talked about before. Officers Buckles, Barber, Tim Brown was with Kurt Buckles, and then Officer Kaczynski.
Hey, Kathy, your favorite lawyer is
All right.
already here. You all have
done with these
representation,
clips?
so I
Done
need
with
an
these
answer
clips,
from
Your
all
Honor?
of you.
All
Or
right.
maybe Matthew could answer for
Well, that's
everyone.
a good time to end. It's also 4:30.
Light
So, ladies
lady's
and
like,
gentlemen,
good.
ask
She's
to be
outta
back
here.
here ready to go tomorrow at 9. Again, would remind you of the admonition that I've given you previously.
Stop waiting.
Again, at the end of the
She's
day, I'm
just
going to hit the
gone.
high points again. Still more evidence to go, so keep an open mind. Don't discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anybody else. Avoid any media coverage of this
Hey,
case.
Bix, I'll tell you in a second here.
No sorts of investigation by you about anything to do with this case. So, all right, thank you very much for your patience and attention today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
All rise. So I was saying that if I give you the "you've got mail" sound effect trigger, so you can trigger it through chat, like an exclamation point mail or something like that, I need you guys to promise to only use it when you've sent me something critically important that's worthy of interrupting, the most serious and solemn of witness testimony. And that's what we're promising. If you'll do that, then I can give you "you've got mail." But if it gets abused, I'm going to have to turn it off. I mean, I like the idea of you guys being able to alert me to the fact that there's something on the burner phone I need to see. And Amber, of all people, you understand that importance because you've had some very important stuff sent to me and tried to get my attention. Does a picture of the Monster Energy pickles that I sent you count as urgent?
Anything needed on the record by
Probably
the state?
not. Probably not.
Mr.
Although I
Johnson?
liked it.
All right, we'll close the record then.
Okay, sounds. Mic's off. Close the record, and now it's party time in the courtroom. The light lady is gone, so Break out the booze. Man bun has to leave, I think. I think he's actually just jealous of his lawyer's hair. That gorgeous ponytail she has halfway down her back. And he's trying to mimic it. Or maybe they just have the same hairstylist. Maureen says, always ends right when I join. Maureen, the fix for that, actually, is to join earlier. Yeah, I did the math, and that's the fix. It'll solve all the problems. Shay, Patrice, thanks for admitting to becoming an addict. Thanks for becoming a subscriber. Hope you love it here. Welcome. Now that you're here, you can never leave. I can't lie. I ain't going to be able to do it. It's all right. We'll see what we can do here. We might turn it on for tomorrow. Vicky says, I promise. A lot of you are with me on the man bun. Not a big fan here. I'm not. I imagine some people can probably rock it and make it look good. But for me, it just doesn't do it. It's the fold over. It's the hair goes back in towards your head and then sort of just, yeah, it does not look good. I mean, maybe if you had like a Princess Leia type dual buns on the side of the head, I might say that, maybe that would be okay. But the single one in back is a no. Man buns should be illegal. I think they are. I think he's just doing it to flaunt his disregard for the court. The only bun I want is from a bakery. I want a pony like that, like the lawyer. Seriously, that's some fabulous hair. And there we've got the beehive. Talk about hairdos. I mean, all in this one courtroom. We have the straight hair wig from Aziz, the light lady. You've got the beehive do right there. Mr. Comeover, who's the defendant. The lady that's handing out the papers, I'm not sure if she's decided what to do with her hair yet today. We've got the man bun. We've got bald. Bald's represented as well. This is like what's the school of barberology or something, all at the same time. Marge Simpson hair. It's pretty good. Just checking. I want to see if we get to see a shot of the defendant as he's led out of court. So just give us just a minute here. Was that a leather satchel? That's pretty nice. He's got a nice case there. Oh, there's the jury seats. We get to zoom in on the notebooks, which are still on the desk or on their seats. There's the hair. Wow. Bailiff. How many stripes does he have on his arm? Holy cow, that's a lot of stripes. Are those stripes? I thought you only had after a certain number you were at the top. But he's got 1, 2, 3. I've got to zoom in on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got like 10 stripes on his arm. This dude is like the bailiff of all bailiffs. And he gets the body cam. And he's got all sorts of awards too, if you look on his other pocket above his nameplate. This guy pretty much runs the show, I think, when it comes to courtrooms. I'm impressed. Sir, my hat's off to you. I don't have a hat, but if I had a hat, I would take it off for you. That is fantastic. And he's got the pose down and everything. Wow. A thicker Barney Fife. He looks like he had a rough day. I think he's still up for tackling the defendant if needed. I think he's got it in him. Takes the job very serious. It is a serious job. The job of a bailiff is serious. Here we go. This is what we're waiting for right here. A quick shot of the defendant. Any last glances back longingly towards the defense bench? Nope, nothing. Okay, so he's out. All right. Well, that was good. That was fun while it lasted. It wasn't as exciting maybe as we hoped it could have been. But, oh my goodness, I cut to my camera like an eighth of a second before the feed from the courtroom drops. Did Gary Busey get deputized? I think he did. I think that's what we saw. I wouldn't mess with that bailiff. No, he's serious. Oh, let's see. He's waiting for Alex. Yes. Looks like a piano on his arm. Tons of lines. He's got stripes for days. Years of service stripes. Is that what it is? So he's 9 or 10 years of service. He's probably, most of these bailiffs probably have law enforcement prior. So they have a history in law enforcement, and then whether you retire from active duty or could have been corrections or something as well. This is sort of like a retirement job. I don't think as far as like the what do they call it? The physical fitness requirements may not be the same as an active duty police officer if they have those in his area. He's a Chris Watts detective? Are you serious about that sometimes? Or are you just saying he looks like him? Are they from the same? I don't even know where Chris Watts was tried. He looks like the young version of Old Man Friend from Pawn Stars. I almost said the wrong word. That was very close. Sorry. We just picked up a live stream from another YouTuber that I watch. That was the audio in the background. He has more stripes than a zebra. Hardly any cops, no shackles. Right. I think all throughout this case, we have not seen a lot of restraints used. Even in the hospital, when they pretty much knew it was him or suspected him, he wasn't shackled to his bed like we've seen in other cases. T-Rox, you did well with the internet today. I have to say, Sunshine Sunflowers, T-Rox, I think, was ready for this. He was, or she. T-Rox, I don't know if you're male or female. Let me know, and I probably won't remember either way. Or change your picture so I know. I think, let's see. There's the picture. There's a picture. Is T-Rox male or female? We've got, is that a, it's not an iguana. Is it a bearded dragon? Or is that a larger one? Anyway, T-Rox did fantastic all day long. He trusted you with the internet. Don't think you're getting out of it so soon. Because this is the last stream of the day, you actually have overnight duties as well. So you have all of this and more worldwide till tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. when we live stream again. So buckle up. It's going to be good. Let's see. Where's the bailiff? Does he get a new strip for every math problem solved in open court? Possibly. This is a murder trial. All of the defendants are shackled with several guards. Yeah, but we need other comments. We need to... Oh, is it buffering already? Is it buffering? T-Rox, you can't leave now. You can't leave right before it ends. Well, if it's going to buffer, I'm going to play some music and we're going to wrap up. I will say today has been... we've had some slow parts, but it was fun to be with you today. It definitely was. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, to T-Rox's... relief, we'll be re-gifting the internet to the first person in chat. Do be there. I'll try to get a little placeholder up tonight. You don't have to talk tonight. As a matter of fact, if you do, I probably won't see it because it will scroll off the page and it will be gone. Yeah, you thought you were done. But no, it's an overnight duty. Good luck. If you need more legal content until we return, please check out Matthew Harris Law on YouTube. Great videos. A new one dropped today that I'm going to watch about why you should plead not guilty even if you did it. So this is good information all of us could use wherever we are, whether we have committed a crime or not. Love you, addicts. Be kind. All of you, seriously. This is the best community on the internet. You guys are amazing folks. The way you welcome people, the way you treat each other, just how much fun we have together, how creative, how witty you are. It doesn't get much better than this. This is the pinnacle of everything on the internet. And it's just a pleasure for me to spend my days with you. So thank you so much. Cheers, Mr. 6-Volt Bus. I'm going to check on your order, make sure that got shipped out. It should have been shipped already. Fun day for sure today. Hopefully it gets better tomorrow. Less videos maybe tomorrow. If you do need to send me something, I do have a P.O. box. You can always just type address in there if you need to and let me know. I check the P.O. box once a month whether I need to or not, so you might have to tell me in chat if you sent me something. Until tomorrow, we'll see you. Is it 5 p.m. there? Right now it is 5:46 p.m. or 17:46 for you military folk. Okay, tonight, please, when you go home, hug the people you love, smile at somebody, make their day just a little bit better, and please, until tomorrow morning, when we meet again at 9 a.m., please stay safe. We'll see you. See, I ran out of music there. Now we have a hot mic moment. I ran out of music, and I'm not ready to end the stream. So now we get the awkward silence. I'm going to play the soft piano while I finish this out. Okay, this has to go off, and this has to go off. I have to get this one ready here. We'll have to do a behind-the-scenes video sometimes. Hey, you guys, seriously, are amazing. We joke about it a lot, but this is the best job on the internet. And being here with you guys, I have to talk differently with the music. Being here with you guys really just makes my day. I can't tell you how much satisfaction and joy, how it warms my heart just to spend it in your company. This is why we stay Right here. Where's everyone going? The good part's still to come. Debbie, thank you. Mods, you guys are absolutely amazing. To all those that have gifted memberships or joined yourself, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please stay safe till then. This is my favorite music, says Red Pen. This one's called, I call it Sad Piano. But anyway, it's like the game of Guess Who. Thank you for being amazing. I love my new digs. Shay, you're welcome here. Please be here tomorrow. We'd miss it without you. Lead Revive says, so heartwarming. It is good. Is it lead or lead? See, that one you're going to have to tell me because it could be either way. There's always a new case to watch. And it will be more fun to watch it together than doing it on our own. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you.